from different paths, upgrading your gear, and fighting against increasing odds to challenge and defeat the Architect. It's a challenging mixture of roguelite and third-person shooter that will keep you and your team pushing the limits to see how far you can go. There's even an event pass to go with it, so you can collect cool rewards while saving the entire human race. Next, Erengel's about to go through a little forced landscaping now that we've added destructible terrain. Frag grenades, mortars, the Panzerfaust, C4, and vehicle explosions will all alter the terrain around them when they explode. You could also use the pickaxe to dig yourself some cover. We should note that the destruction does not apply to buildings, so you're safe indoors for now. Keep an eye out for destructible terrain in ranked games as well, and during custom match esports mode on Erengel, Miramar, Rondo, and Tago. Guns are getting a few more attachments this update as well. The hybrid scope will let you easily swap between 1x and 4x magnification. We've also added a new tilted grip, a solid starter choice that improves both horizontal and vertical recoil, while also reducing camera shake. To make room for this new toy, the angled foregrip has been removed. We also decreased the base horizontal and vertical recoil on the Dragunov. There's also a new emergency support flare to call in a care package. New level 1 and level 3 jammer pack with storage space equal to their level. The ability to call in a supply drop with an enemy blue chip at a tower, and more. So be sure to check out the patch notes for full details. Update 41.1 is here, so get attached to the new attachments. Enact some light terraforming on Erengel, and fight back the alien threat before they become our alien overlords. We'll see you on the battlegrounds.
I am translucent from Team Newbies. We are the first Indian team to qualify for PMS finals, hoping to put up a good show.
我是台港澳赛区的 GSW YU， 请大家多多指教。
Halo, nama saya Ezar. Di tim saya dipanggil Gops. Kami dari tim ATO.
アンラッキー所属のサニーサイドアップです。よろしくお願いします。
प्राथमिक चिकित्सक किट
这是急救包，
Darah,
応急キット、
हरा गोली
5.56毫米子弹，
pelor hijau,
5.56、
तवा
平底锅，
panci,
フライパン、
मौली
燃烧瓶，
oli,
火炎瓶、
ऊर्जा पेय
能量饮料，
minuman,
エナジードリンク、
उड़न खटोला
滑翔机，
glider,
グライダー、
BDSM
装甲车，
tank,
投降者、
headshot
爆头，
pala,
ヘッドショット、
पेटी
空投，
drop,
補給物資、
चिकन डिनर
大吉大利，今晚吃鸡。
chicken,
とんかつ、
this is विजेता सर्वश्रेष्ठ टीम
他们得冠，
juara,
優勝。
hardcore insane if my teammate does that. Fucking mad expert.
我觉得太晒了吧。
super banget. Kayaknya dia nggak mau nge-team sama saya.
おーってなりますね。
If any Indians are watching, thank you for supporting, and I hope we make a good performance that makes India proud. Once again, thank you.
对这季非常的努力，做很多功课，相信我们一定可以得冠。还有感谢所有粉丝的支持。
Untuk PMS tahun ini udah mantap semua. Bagian qualifier dari sampai cup itu udah bagus. Sama untuk fans jangan lupa dukung tim Indo dan tim ATO di final PMS 2026. Makasih.
今回 PMS 日本からはアンラッキーチームしか出てないんですけど、全力で頑張って上位に食らいつきたいと思うので応援よろしくお願いします。
拜拜。
Bye bye.
バイバイ。
We've seen a lot together. And we're just getting started. No limits on land. No limits on loot. No limits on survival. Your destination for next level PUBG game modes. PUBG Unbound. You're gonna need a bigger helmet.
A new out-of-this-world game mode, destructible terrain on Erangel, and some new gun attachments. All this and more as we dive into the Update 41.1 patch report. First up, there's a new threat to Miramar, and this one commands an extraterrestrial army. In PUBG's newest game mode, Xenopoint, you and your team will fight back against the invasion, choosing from different paths, upgrading your gear, and fighting against increasing odds to challenge and defeat the Architect. It's a challenging mixture of roguelite and third-person shooter that will keep you and your team pushing the limits to see how far you can go. There's even an event pass to go with it, so you can collect cool rewards while saving the entire human race. Next, Erangel's about to go through a little forced landscaping now that we've added destructible terrain. Frag grenades, mortars, the Panzerfaust, C4, and vehicle explosions will all alter the terrain around them when they explode. You could also use the pickaxe to dig yourself some cover. We should note that the destruction does not apply to buildings, so you're safe indoors for now. Keep an eye out for destructible terrain in ranked games as well. And during custom match esports mode on Erangel, Miramar, Rondo, and Tago.
Check out the opening graphics, man. I wish I was as fit as that. Welcome to day number 2 of the PUBG Master Series 2026 phase number 1. We're here with you as your storytellers. My name is Sir Cloud, and YOLO Lee returns again. How you feeling, buddy?
Dude, I'm feeling absolutely ecstatic because we're finally back to that PUBG season here. Especially, it is going to be the beginning of the road to PGC, especially for the APAC side, right? So we're finally getting right into it, into the year here. Very excited for it. I believe our fellow PUBG enthusiasts is also feeling excited to support their favorite teams as they make their journey all the way to that PGC 2026. Well, of course, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the PUBG Master Series Phase 1 of 2026, where Sir Cloud and I will be bringing us all the PUBG action and shenanigans here. But with that being said, this is currently day 2 of week 1.
Oh yeah, day 2 of week 1. We saw a good amount of action in day number 1 yesterday. So you were on the desk. Mind giving us a bit of a recap of what happened yesterday?
Well, we'll definitely be breaking into a little bit more detail once we get into the, when we start the leaderboard and everything later on, right? But, first things first, we want to start talking about what's going to be the core difference for this Master Series 2026, and that is going to be the new format that's going to be coming to the mix. That's right. So, just to bring up the speed, Sir Cloud, we're not going to be doing that whole rundown, but hold the phone. Just got something for you guys here, and that is going to be the G-Coin collection for all you fans, PUBG fan enthusiasts out there. That's right. So all you have to do, especially for the first graphic, just gotta follow the new PUBG Esports APAC Facebook fan page and get a chance to get yourself some G-Coin for yourself. And if you think that's not enough, we still have a lot more coming for you guys here, and that's gonna be following up with the next graphic that we'll be watching after this.
Oh yeah, which is you get the chance or have the chance to cheer for your team on every match day to get 500 G-Coins. So how do you do that? That's the comment section there. You can just go all in. You can cheer for your favorite team, whoever it is. But of course, in case you need a rundown of what the teams that will be playing, we can give you a list later on. But I'm pretty sure all of you are here for a reason. And the reason is to support whichever team that you love the most.
That's right. And of course, courtesy of Crafted, just want to make sure all you PUBG fans get a little something while supporting your favorite team. And if you think the first 2 graphic was all you can do to get that G-Coin, well, we're bringing back an old classic for this past Master Series, and it's going to be the G-Coin event. And all you got to do is just stick around and watch it on live. That G-Coin code is just going to be randomly appearing. I'm not sure during which match. I'm not sure at which time. It could happen at any single moment. So don't miss a single hour or minute of it. Stick around, support your favorite team while you're doing it at the same time, while also waiting for that G-Coin code to potentially pop out.
Oh man, G-Coins galore everywhere. Like you can get it from the social media, you can get it by cheering your favorite team in the comment section, you can get it just by watching this live stream. Man, PUBG is really generous today here. And of course, it's not only today, there's more to come every single day. So it gives you guys a reason to tune in every day, aside from the amazing action from the teams, of course.
Yeah, definitely for sure. But that's with with the formalities out of the way. Now we're going to be talking about the schedule that's going to be happening for this Master Series. This is going to be a little bit different. So we're going to be going through a 4-week of PUBG actions here, which I'm going to be explaining a little bit more. We'll see a little bit more detail in terms of the format as well, because currently the PMS Phase 1 main stage will be consisting of 4 weeks, right? Starting from week 1, which is April 17th until April 19th, and the next few 3 weekends onwards, where there'll be 5 matches each day. So a total of about 60 matches across these 4 weeks here. And how this format is going to be working on is it is going to be a weekly PMS points. So every week's teams, of course, depending on how many chicken dinners they're going to be achieving, the team that's going to be earning as much PMS points as much as possible. Yes, every week it's going to be a weekly reset, but the PMS point they achieve will be accumulated at the end of the 4th week here, which is going to be under the final ranking, and or at least the top 2 teams that has at least accumulated the most amount of PMS points will be moving forward or qualifying for the EWC 2026 here. So it really feels like every week is imperative for a lot of these teams to be somewhat consistent. And to make matters worse at the same time, Sir Cloud, we are bringing down from, instead of 6 matches per day, now it's only 5 matches per day now.
Yeah, that means that matches will just run very, very quickly. Well, also to illustrate to you the prize pool based on this is zooming in onto the weekly ranking, right? So
Yeah.
first place will take back $1,000 US, second place $500 US, third place $200 US, and fourth place $100 US. However, from fifth onwards, well, until the 14th at least, they will still get PMS points, but PGC points only apply to the top four. So every week, ending the week in the top four at least is so important.
Correct. It is ridiculously imperative to at least for to be at least consistent for the next 4 weeks, right? To accumulate the PMS to qualify to at least be the first top two team, because only the top two teams will be moving or at least be qualifying for that EWC 2026 here. And naturally, you also want to earn as much PGC points later on to at least solidify yourself when PGCs actually really start happening later.
And this is the prize pool for the Phase 1 final ranking. First place will take home $13,500 US, second place $7,000 US. But like what you mentioned earlier on Yoli, the top two will move to EWC 2026. And obviously there will be a bigger prize pool waiting for teams there. But of course, to get to the top two, well, they have to fight their way through. And it's definitely not going to be easy, especially if you have all these amazing teams on your screen.
Definitely, for sure. And this is going to be our top 16 team that actually qualified through 3 separate PMS Cups here. So they really battled their way to really qualify for this qualifier alone here, just to make sure they can stay in the game as they slowly make their progress here in their PUBG career for at least here for 2026 here. So far, of course, naturally, we have those who were here during day number 1, you definitely recognize their name as we mentioned down. We have Orgless, Shadow Esports, All the Eco, Team Zanshin, Vega Esports, Savage Man Esports, Armor Esports, and Happy Squad. We're also going to be moving on to our second half of our at least our top 8 here. But we have saw some really great games yesterday, Sir Cloud. Like really great games, especially some of the newer teams that's coming into the mix. Although roster-wise, you do know the players for sure. You definitely recognize them from their previous team, from a previous tournament. However, with this new roster, we saw some really new dynamics for some of the teams, especially coming in from our currently who's taking that top 1 in that leaderboard ranking at this current time, and that's going to be Vega Esports, the Malaysia team.
Yep, and here we also have in the mix as well, we have Team Newbies, we have Monk, Game Start Win, Okatera, Ato Esport, Unlucky, Nirvana, Rebirth, Soldier Gaming, and Zen Esports as well. And out of all these, for Team Newbies, they are the only team representing the Indian region, and they're also making their debut in the APAC scene as well. What did you make of their performance so far yesterday?
Unfortunately, especially just looking from the leaderboard alone, they did have that time in the sun as well, because they were able to banked it on mostly on positioning wise. We didn't see as much aggression unless it's required coming from Team Newbies here. So, but then again, we did see a little bit of good fight. There was also at the same time yesterday, at least yesterday's 5 matches, right, Sir Cloud? It was every team was receiving very punishing circles, and I'm not talking about towards the end. I'm talking about during like phase 1. You get this like circle that, especially on the map of Erangel, for example, you get this southwestern corner heavily shifted towards Primos area. Not a lot of lands, not a lot of options for a lot of those teams, especially with the flight path. A lot of the teams actually was so far from the initial phase 1 circle as well. So it really put a lot of teams yesterday in a position where how do they want to tackle this ball? How do you want to get those really good spots from this? Do you want to leave much more earlier? Do you want to take them time so you seize their way at the edge of the circle, which is somewhat viable here for the map of Erangel.
Yeah, especially if your initial drop spot is far away from the circle, then you need to travel more, you spend less time looting. If the opposite happens, then, well, when you drop the circles right on top of you, you can take your time to loot. So it's always a good feel to have that circle on top for you, especially like if you're playing inside Erangel, in which we'll be playing right after this. You're in military base and the circle is there. It's perfect.
Mm-hmm. Just now we had a look at the leaderboard, right? And I just want to continue to touch on a little bit, because most of the time we were talking about or at least yesterday Contra 9, we were constantly talking about the top few teams, the top end of the leaderboard, right? But now I want to talk a little bit about the bottom half right now, because usually day 1 it's the kind of thing where teams just is about like who gets out of the blocks, right? Who's the one that's going to be setting the tone in this lobby as we saw it to make our way towards night 2, right? Or at least night 2 here, right? Night 2 is about the teams that's going to be like that didn't quite have the best night 1. Can they rebound? Can they really find that solid performance tonight here, or at least try to get themselves into that top 8 here? Like for example, like Savage Man Esports, right? Probably not the best night for them, but they do have this track history where they always will be able to get back into that top 8, or at least that top 5, or at least make it to qualifiers. But right now we are looking for that team that's trying to get at least to that top 4, right? Because that's where the most team is going to be able to accumulate most of the PMS points and the PGC points. And so a lot of those teams in the bottom half will be trying to make their way and really kick it into high gear because it's currently night 2. They did the research, they did the rundown, and I'm really excited to see how well the team's going to fare, especially for Team Unlucky yesterday, who in previous PMS, by the way, been really super passive. They were used to be in the team called Irohani Perpetual Samurai, right? A very passive team back then. Didn't show much aggression unless to the final circle. But yesterday, we saw an absolutely new fire and they're really setting the foundation for themselves. They were literally majority of those 5 matches, they were always within that top 3 placement, even earning one of their chicken dinner for themselves with a huge amount of total kills as well. So we're seeing Team Unlucky in an entirely new light here. It's really great to see them how they're faring so far for day 1. But let's see how far they will go for night 2.
But we're going to compare the head-to-head with players from different teams. We have Aimbot and also Alec here being compared with each other. When it comes to the number of kills, it's pretty similar. But look at the average damage by Alec. Wow. And we're talking about average, right? So yes, it's like 200-ish points different, but because it's average, right? So that means in reality, it's actually way more for Alec.
Actually, you're right. So this is just like a very summarized one. Yesterday, Alec was on an absolute roll. Sure, he did. Eventually, Iron Bots gets the most amount of total kills in the entire lobby. 15 kills, Alex getting 14. But Alex was on an absolute tear. He may not be able to get the top 1 ranking for the total amount of kills, but he got number 1 for the total amount of damage output, which is literally 2,800 points. The second place is, I believe, is going to be Iron Bots, which is 1,800 points. The difference is 1,000 points in damage. So, Claudia, Alex was on an absolute tear in yesterday's matches as well. And one match alone, he was out of the amount of total kills. I believe the team had 13 total kills on the map of Erangel. I believe that's match 1. Alec walked out of that round with 7 kills alone. He pretty much contributed 60% of his team's kills to secure that chicken dinner, yeah.
Oh man, that was insane. But can he continue on the momentum today? That would be the bigger question, right? Because I'm pretty sure a lot of teams would have looked through the VODs after the last game and they might think to themselves that, how are we going to stop that team? How are we going to stop Alec in particular? So that's going to be a challenge for him today. And of course, the challenge for Vega Esports, representing the Malaysian region, to keep their number 1 spot now.
Yeah, it is definitely going to be the question here. But Vega Esports, our Malaysia team here, of course, we did see an Iron Bots being one of the few newer players that's also inside this roster as it is. AJ and Iron Bots were the 2 teams that we were currently in question. However, the unique thing was the fact that they were pairing with very experienced veteran players, both of them being TD and M. 2 players which I was telling Contra yesterday that the 2 unlikely duo that I didn't expect to be in the same roster here, and it really skyrocketed for Vega Esports during the last matches for night 1. Sure, first 2 matches, a little bit shaky, but they were still earning like a couple of kill points. They were still trying to maintain that consistency at least. But we got to match 4. They went on an absolute tear. They also closed in the night for match 5 for themselves here. No chicken dinner, unfortunately. They only got it for during match 4. Match 5, they were able to secure for themselves, but just did enough damage, enough points to elevate themselves all the way to that first ranking, overthrowing Orgless, who was actually holding that top 1 spot for quite a while, actually.
Yep, and Orkless, of course, some of these players are really, really OG, right? Like CJ, like Mad Dog, they've been in the scene for the longest time. So it's great to see them still really active. Oh yeah,
I believe you should know them pretty personally, right? Because I believe you have that history. Like you and them are like pretty much the same era, right? The godfather of Apex PUBG.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen them grow up. At one time they were still learning how to run. When they were a kid, and then now they are like sprinting. So yeah, it's great to see these players like grow up with the game over the years and still actively play. And not only actively play, they're playing at the top of their performance still.
Yeah, it was really cool that they actually reconvened back together. Like it's really like that classic Archangel Predator lineup once again, right? Like in previous Master Series, they weren't really like this entire roster. It was pretty much two of them was being from Happy Squad, then they came back here for this PMS 2026. But anyway, yeah, this is Team Unlucky. We already somewhat addressed a little bit of us. Three of the members, both them being Runax and Gonil. Gordon and Fan and Feven. Three of them was originally from the Irohani Puppeta Samurai. And this time in this tournament for night one, they really set up a very solid foundation. I think this is probably like the strongest I ever seen coming from them for at least this past two PMS season, two past PMS phases season here. So it's really cool coming from them. I can't wait to see how well they will fare here for night number 2, right? Because this is usually, I believe, even from your experience, right, where usually night 2 is usually where, or at least night 2 of the week, or at least of the tournament, is where teams really kick into high gear. They really did the vaults. They've managed to shake off whatever rust they had during night 1. They got accustomed to most of the team's play style. Now this is where they bring whatever they researched, whatever they had discussed, whatever mistakes they have somewhat covered here to night 2 to further their lead here or solidify themselves before we get to that final night tomorrow.
Sorry, I was partly distracted because one of the players he was shirtless and he was standing up. I was like, oh, okay, calm down, dude. This is not that kind of broadcast, okay? Man, guys, they got to know that they're on a broadcast watched by millions out there. So yeah, I take a chill pill. But here we go. Definitely not going to chill here. We're going to start our first game here in OG map, Iranga, with a flight path from the side of Milta Power all the way to the left side of Primos. A very sound inside sort of flight path. If it's going to be the same circle as yesterday, it would be great. But if this kind of flight path, the circle goes all the way up north, then it's going to be quite a challenge for a lot of these teams.
Actually, we had really very balanced flight paths. It was very centralized flight paths on the side of the map. It was just the circle that was just doing very heavy shift, especially for that phase 1 here. So like you mentioned, yes, if it does heavily shift to the north side, could be a little bit of a problem for some of the teams that actually drop towards that south side of that island due to how the flight path is currently being set up as well for most of these teams. But we do notice that a lot of these teams are now doing their respective long dives, securing vehicles. I mean, it's Iranga, right? It's that kind of map where you just you can actually still play around the edges here, but you can get that really good spots, especially teams like Team Unlucky and GSW. These are the two teams so far that were always trying to prioritize that good positioning as early as much as possible and just really lock themselves down here. The really nice circle for that phase 1 here. A lot of the teams should be pretty satisfied with it. Decent amount of cover, decent amount of combos for them to play with. We do see a potential hot zone in this current location between both team newbies here and Orglis. But I believe the priority would just be the vehicle here. Team Newbies will be going to the house. They did manage to get at least some basic weaponry to try to contest for it, but they will prioritize the vehicle, and that'll be one vehicle soloed away from Team Newbies.
Okay, shots fired onto them, but they should be okay. I believe that they're far enough right now. And Unforgiven with an iron sight AK, that sort of range, that level of recoil. Yeah, it'll be hard to hit the shots, but that's okay. It's still the very beginning. But you know what? With this kind of circle, there's still that little bit of a military base down there. So there's that small chance that the circle could shift all the way down south, and it will be super interesting if that happens.
Yeah. Which is pretty much why we're going to be seeing a lot of teams, especially who's currently in the dead center of the circle, right? Just try to at least centralize themselves. Just because of witnessing all the circles that we saw yesterday, right? So I believe they just want to be in a situation where, all right, if the circle were to shift in this sort of manner, we'll still be within close proximity at least, or at least there is option for us to tackle with. Because I believe yesterday there was a lot of teams where they were forced in a scenario where it's like pretty much 50-50 where, okay, we know there's going to be a team there. But do we really want to take the risk for that? Do we want to gamble it right out in the open here to try to win all those close fights? And speaking of close fight, we might just see one that's going to be happening currently, and it's going to be Alter Ego against Savage Man. And Xavier is currently too far from the rest of the team. Not sure whether the rest of the squad is currently en route for the reinforcement here. But Xavier, he's hearing a lot of sound cues. He knows the impending team that's going to be moving in. Now it's going to be making his final stand.
And he's all alone though. They see him going up to the second floor. The chase is on with AUG. Queen moves in, but he blinds himself. Oh man, that's a little bit unlucky there. If Queen wasn't blinded, then he might have got it.
Now we see the rest of the members of Savage Man, not the entire team just yet. We do see Upchen playing a little bit on the Overwatch positioning, covering the flank side, so no alter ego member will try to flank them from the other end here. But then again, Queen and the last side of the team playing around on the first floor here. We do see two on the other side, or also known as Zia, try to pin them down here, try to give a little bit of a breathing room for the rest of the team. Upchen repositioning himself towards the north side of the compound here to see if he can get a better angle, because they do have one of the members on that southern side. Now suddenly it feels like Alter Ego is somewhat boxed in. Trick gets knocked out, but the shotgun at hand still managed to recover and do a fantastic trade. So the saves will be there. No kill points will be going to the side here for Savage Man Esports. But Les comes in for Chu with the swing. Will it be enough though? Unfortunately for Xavier, it's not going to be enough. He gets removed, Chu gets knocked down, and now they were able to go for the save, and Alter Ego would not be losing any of their members at this current stage.
Oh, and Happy Squad's around the corner monitoring the situation. RDK trying to get Upchen, but Upchen went up that hill, and he'll be safe for now. So it looks like Alter Ego, they won this fight, and they'll be A-OK. But look at the mini-map there. Upchen went to where Happy Squad is at now, and he seems to be in a bit of a trouble, and he will be eliminated.
This is not the kind of opening you are trying to, or at least the team is trying to look for here, especially if you're in the bottom. We were just talking about it being in the bottom of the leaderboard here. Can't really afford, especially with only being 5 matches per day, right? It feels so punishing if you're bailing out from each of these rounds so early without able to farm any points as much as possible here. But we still do have that one lone member here. Not sure whether he's going to be able to get all those tags to go for those res here. But it all comes down to Lun Lun just playing nearby. He does have a blue beacon tower near him as well, but just no tags for the res. Res coming on the other side, we do see the GSW alongside with ATO, who's currently in the 15th place. One member short here, but GSW is just Xiao Feng. We do have show the IGL, who has been creating massive wave for GSW so far, pointing them in the right direction in terms of engagement, as we were witnessing in match number 1, or at least night 1 here. So now they're getting all these corners. They're trying to get that intel in. So far, I believe, from an eagle eye point of view, they somewhat managed to surmise that most of the ATO members is currently just stuck in that house, in that particular building for itself.
Yeah, if only they have all 4 team members, right? At least they can cover all 4 corners. But now with 3, they don't make do with whatever that they have. And it's not easy to gun them down, or at least get them out before they can rush in. Looks like the members of Atto, they are pretty nice and safe inside the building.
Yeah, it's difficult, right? Like, because usually, right, if we're just talking on stats, right, usually in a 4v3 head-on, right, most of the time the team with the most members is usually the one that's going to be coming up the win here. Sure, there are ways to isolate a lot of these fights to try to get that, to turn that disadvantage to an advantage for your team, but just seeing with GSW's positioning so far, fortunately not enough utilities to flush them out of the buildings, hence why we're seeing just GSW just keeping at a near distance here, or keeping them at arm's length.
And Xeno's just waiting. But definitely they know that they're being watched, so they won't step out. Not like they have a reason to really step out at phase 1. They're currently nicely tucked in circles, so they'll be okay. They'll hold this position for now. But they have to do something at some point. So the smoke been deployed. Are they going to make their big move? Nah.
Nope. I mean, no reason. So, and I was, just as I was mentioning earlier, just not enough offensive orders to really flush them out. And speaking on the other side, now coming in from one of our Oceanity, Monk, and that's going to be Nikos. Glad to have him back here, and he's back in this PMS with an entirely new roster here. Yes, they had their ups and downs here, but hey, man, they still have the firepower. And it's really great to see coming in from Monk too. But let's see, today is night 2. They definitely intend to scale up that leaderboard for sure, to try to solidify themselves. It looks like they're actually engaging or crashing upon one of the members of Vega Esports here. We do see Iron Bots. There's one of their main fraggers coming into the fray. TD also probably alongside with Iron Bots. Yep, there he is, alongside with them. as they try to get a nice, because they currently have this 2-2 setup, right? So a good flanking maneuver here, but they just need to bite their time. We do see orders throwing into the building. TD was able to find an angle on Nico. There goes the drop. There goes the surprise. Able to go for the trade back as well. And now it's currently down to a 3v3. Who has the angle here is a little bit of a different story. UNC trying to find an opening. Throws a flash to try to go for the reset, try to go for the roundabout, but gets spotted out by a well-placed positioning coming from M-tier, and now forcing UNC back into the building, and now he's turned to have his back against the corner, against the wall.
And now going up to a third floor. Maybe you utilize the rooftop. Let's see what will the decision be. Okay, but M's on the other building though. Not sure if he knows that he's there. Now he's putting himself in the position where he's surrounded by the players of Vega Esports. And bot gets Asu. And now 2 members left. And UNC takes a lot of damage there, but he does have enough healing utilities to reset. Oh,
fantastic nade coming in from them as well. Orders looking absolutely solid. Now there's 2 members of Monk that's inactive for the side. Monk is down to the last player here. It's going to be Badape. He did manage to get another now. Try to see if he can try to equalize the situation in this 1v2. AJ goes for a little bit of a safer call here. They got the angles covered too. Goes for the revive. Try to increase more manpower here to even out or at least balance the odds here.
When look at Terra, they're making a big rotation all the way up north to come in. Don't mind taking a bit of the blue. But Asu and UNC confirmed eliminated by Vega Esports. Are they done yet? They should be done yet. Yeah, they're done. Right now, the circle shifted away from this building, so they're deciding on where to go next.
Which is fine for them at least. They managed to knock out Monk. Honestly, I thought it was going to be Savage Man going to be the first team to be eliminated away, but Luna was still able to will be able to stick it around. Monk will be the first team to bail out here. And Vega Esports, again, who's currently taking the top rank 1 positioning in the leaderboard, is going to be able to feel very satisfied with the fact that they're able to get 3 points off the bat here. Not too worried about losing that 4th member. You know, Iron Boss was actually within the vicinity. They were able to secure this compound. So I think the rest is definitely going to be in order here. Trying to get as many members on the board, especially as they slowly make their way to that final phase. NRSG, on the other hand, also making their way into the circle currently. Naturally, getting gatekeep is going to be by Zenshin here. Team Zenshin does this 1-3 setup, definitely covering a little bit more ground here. Not to worry about Sly, because Sly at the back of Sly is currently literally just the Ocean Warders here. So no worries about him being flanked here. But if NRSG decides to crash into him, might be a little bit of a different story here. But right now, NRSG... thankfully for the small ditch that they have, should be able to try to go for the reset, replan how they're going to be the next place they're going to be going for here. But it looks like Zenshin also being peppered by another team from the backside here. But not before God was able to find Sly on the further end here and securing that southern side for the team.
Yeah, and Sly went out, so now Zenshin down to 3 players. They're playing by the edge of the circle, though. They can still play the gatekeeping role against NRG. And NRG, knowing that they have the man advantage now, are they going to just rush in? It's still going to be a bit of a risk because there's a lot of open space in front of them. I will switch over to Shadow Esports. And they almost got their target there. There goes. The suspect is found.
Oh, that is unfortunate to lose. Suspect coming from the side here of Armored Esports here. They went on with a bang, by the way, and staying towards the final matches of the night for night 1 here too. Managed to check out a couple of the rusts. It's really great to see them really back to that down, because if we're just talking about like previous history before, Armored Esports, who was previously known as Justice for Tomorrow, right? In PMS 2025 phase 1, they were always around like that bottom of the leaderboard, around 12 to 13th place. But ever since, the difference in phase 2 was the newly addition of Suspect, and that really changed things from how the dynamic. Because back then, without Suspect being joined the team, it felt like they were pretty hesitant in most of their action on how their roster they want to engage, in the points of engagement. But once Suspect came in, it felt like they were really being pointed in the right direction, really getting really great calls here, and they're able to at least get to that 5th placing back at phase 2 last year, 2025. This year, great to see them back again, this time under the new name Armored Esports. we'll just see how well they fare so far. They had a really great last two matches. They did lose. Unfortunately, they did lose Suspect relatively early. Not sure they were going to be able to get the res in time. But, hey, he's going to be able to still direct the table, support his team from the sidelines. Whereas we're going to be seeing the next phase circle here, Cloud. It's going to be a more centralized circle. Teams still have decent amount of areas to play with. Still a couple of open fields here, but still a couple of decent amount of forestry towards that southern side for team to utilize. Where's the northeastern side? Well, that's going to be a little bit of a challenge here. That's pretty much why we see Armor Esports just make a quick headway into the circle itself, because there's just not much cover for them to deal with. Because most of the compound is currently occupied by most teams at the current moment of time.
And look at the elimination feed right now. Looks like Alter Ego in a fight with NRG. Long range taps by Queen. And NRG, they are in trouble right now. Faith and Crazy Dog, both of them eliminated. And Turtle for NRG looks like he's retreating into the inner side of the circle.
Yeah, Alter Ego is just farming points now. They know it's pretty much imperative to try to further solidify their foundation from night one. A beautiful spray coming in from 10 trip as well, courtesy of the positioning as well. They will be able to get the kill, and unfortunately, our NRSG will be the second team to be removed here from match one of night two. Now that we see Shadow Esports slowly making their way in, they were a very super aggressive team yesterday as well, getting all those kills. Not a lot of placement points for themselves, but still racking up those kill points, trying to be consistent as much as possible, earning them that top 8. Let's see how well they fare so far. They're getting a couple of tags from team that's currently being occupied in the flatlands here. But yeah, there's just not a lot of covers out here at all. Not enough to protect those vehicles either. I don't think Zen Esports is going to be staying there for too long. On the other hand, team Newbies on the hand will be able to find Orca Terra during mid-rotation. It's going to be able to farm a couple of kills on the cells, trading it back and forth. And Happy Squad also being alerted by the sound of the commotion here. Did spot some of the members of Team Zenshin, but not ready to reveal the current location of time.
The fight of Team Newbies was happening on the left side of the circle. To be exact, on the outer side of it. And not sure if it's still going on. Okay, yes, it is. Unforgiven just got taken out. So I believe that Team Newbies, they only have one player left. Yeah, two players. So they're still fighting there though, for sure. I wonder for how long, because right now we're talking about phase 3 moving to phase 4, and it's definitely going to hurt when the Blues on top of them.
Lun. Oh, yep, he hasn't. Yeah, Lunan hasn't really left his ball for quite some time now. Still the exact same position as he was since from phase 1 after losing 3 of his teammates on the other side. So playing a little bit of the long game here, see if you can go for the place in here. Whatever points count. Alter Ego on the other hand, still within the safety of the circle. No reason for them to really at least leave their current position as well. I believe they are going for this 2-2 setup as well, covering more ground, getting a lot more intel, especially. Phase 4 is also going to be, we're going to be seeing that phase 5 shortly here as well. Circle's still in the favor of Alter Ego, so no reason for them to leave anytime soon. Pretty much got this nice control towards that southeastern side. London, although what might be a little bit of a wild card, but we do see GSW also slowly making headway towards that eastern side shortly. We'll just see how well that fight goes. Team Unlucky, the team who has been so far trying to get that positioning, will try once again to solidify a decent one for themselves as they slowly make their way in through the western side, not before they run into GSW or even Orca Terra. It's not the full squad of Orca Terra on the other hand. They did lose one of their members midway. But even Happy Squad is also going to be joining in the fray here for the Battle of the North.
He almost got it. Ajin Boss probably needs just one more bullet through. Counter fire for the other side. It came from Ia, from Augless. All right. Looks like now Happy Boss will need to pick him up, and not only that, they need to fight against the incoming Oculus.
Definitely drawn in. They want to see if they can try to flush him out. It's the kind of spot they don't really want to have a team so close by interacting here at them. They didn't want to be disturbed at any point of time. Really want to try to force them out. They're seeing the trajectory of the utility being flying there, so they know there's someone nearby. Unlucky on the other hand, seems that they're going to be crashing within the vicinity of GSW here, and they were able to win a massive fight, a big win coming in from Team Unlucky as well. And the best part about it, Sir Cloud, they did not lose a single one of the members. 2 knocks for sure, but they're still here for the for for the pickup here. So no rest required. A very big fight and a lot of points achieved for Team Unlucky. But then again, at the same time, it is an open field. I don't think a lot of their vehicles can be salvageable in this situation. So as teams are slowly peppering down on whatever suspected vehicle that's within their crosshair, currently as well, we're witnessing from Anarchy's POV. Unlucky, able to get that 3 points from the cell. Look like Orca Terror is going to be joining into the fray, trying to see if they can try to pick up whatever crumbs left behind from the previous fight here, how they can capitalize on this. Try to flush them out with the utility. Do they have enough ordnance on the island to flush them out? They got some decent corners, decent room to play it, or at least the hideout in here, but just no angle. Orca Terror, they knew for a fact that, all right, they got no choice. They might just have to push or siege or breach into the building just to try to flush them out. Those smokes is not going to last for too long here.
And sunny side up. All right, from him, and beautifully done. Underneath the vehicle, he found his target. And Unlucky, they don't need luck. They have skill.
Really well done. Really fantastic defense coming in from Team Unlucky. It looks like it's not just Orca Terror. It looks like Team Newbies is slowly encroaching on the position. But I don't believe that's the full team here. Oh, actually, no, they're not really besieging into the compound. They're just making use of the shack that is fine. It's pretty much the flatlands here, right? So not a lot of area or at least decent amount of compounds or cover here, at least towards this northwestern side. And Team Unlucky so far able to fend off against 2 teams to earn all those points for themselves. 6 points is a very great start for themselves here.
Ooh, but Oculus now coming in onto Happy Squad. They were at each other for quite a while now, but beautiful nib by Mad Dog onto Tentrip. Tentrip now down, calling up for help. His teammate not going towards him to pick him up, but then again, Oculus, they're closing the gap. They're throwing all their utilities to try to flush out the members of Happy Squad. And Monty right now is in trouble. He's taking a bit of damage there. And look at the flank that's currently coming in from Oculus. They're having Happy Squad surrounded.
Yeah, this is the exact aggression that we were seeing coming from the side for Oculus as well. They knew they're already pinning them down from one angle. 2 teams comes in for the flush. They're in the best of about it, they're constantly keeping track on the team that the number of players remaining that's being knocked down. Naturally, sort of, and it's going to be courtesy of Alex. Shock, sort of to the face. No way the man's going to be able to. We're going to be able to stand that kind of damage in close range. Oculus, although they did lose Ia, should be able to go for the pickup on CJ. However, the Bloods in the war, the Shocks are coming in. And Alter Ego, of course, another super aggressive team here in the tournament, naturally drawn into the fight here to see what can they capitalize from this situation from the previous fight. But Sally, too many angles that's peppering him down. And it's going to be a very simple pickup for Mad Dog here for the team. CJ still hasn't been picked up just yet here, but with Alter Ego, at least being bruised here at this current moment of time, this should at least give a little bit of a breathing room for Oculus to try to go for the resets here. It looks like Luna is going to be caught out here. Did manage to secure at least 2 kill points before leaving for the round. It's not a lot, but at least it's something at least.
Well, better than nothing, they say. But for Shadow Esports right now, coming in from the southern side, there's one person right in front of him. It's going to be Hansi trying to find his way through. The smoke is still active. That will give him a little bit more cover. Oh, but his teammates here. Looks like it's going to be 2v1. He should be able to do the business, but Dusky got Jaxi and Hansi. He'll focus on picking up his teammate before continuing on the fight.
This is really hard for a lot of teams that's currently in the flatlands, right? Because this is the kind of situation where at this current position, there's not a lot of compounds for the teams to play with here. So sure, probably towards the northern side, but if that circle, that phase 6 circle were to shift down south, now it's going to be a little bit of or at least southeastern side. Now we're going to be seeing a lot of teams that's going to be very somewhat purely dependent on utilities or smokes in this case, to someone to give them a decent amount of cover for them. There's barely any forestry. There's no shack. There's not a lot of shacks for them to play with here. Even Shadow East, who's just currently set out a little bit of a defense here, now understands that, all right, we got to move in. We just don't really have a choice here. Vehicles, let's be honest, I don't think vehicles could be able to survive the constant harassment or at least the tagging that's going to be happening in the flylands. There's just no cover at all. So hopefully the vehicles will just give a decent amount of angles which is pretty much imperative for all these teams to currently secure their respective areas or their edges at least before they make their way in here. So let's just give a little bit of assurance or some comfort of the idea where, all right, we just have to look towards our southeastern side. We don't really have to look at our backs because we pretty much secure that northern hemisphere. At least that's from Team Unlucky's point of view. There's still one member of Team Newbies, although that could be a little bit of a wild card there, but we'll just have to see later on. That southern side, man. Once that circle start pushing them in, Shadow Esports needs to make a massive gamble here. No smokes from what I remember here, at least on both Jaxi and Hansi. I don't think they have any more smokes here. And with all the peppering they're doing as well, ATO is getting ready to greet them in kind. And it's not just ATO, I believe it's even Zanshin also is getting, or Zen Esports is also within the vicinity. But looks like Unlucky from the kill feed alone, we'll be able to clear out that northern side as we were able to find some additional more members, and there goes Team Newbies.
Team Newbies out at number 7. And now we're down to 6 teams, including Vega Esports on the outer side of the circle, now needing to fight their way through. And Oculus will be the one to try to stop them. But Oculus, one player currently down, needs to be picked up. But at the same time, there's another team on the southern side. And they actually got empty. Right now, they're going to save him. They have to save. Or the star players there. Can they make it in time, though?
Biding them time. Still decent amount of smokes here on the hands of Vega Esports as well. Since they did manage to close out the fight against the Monk, so I believe they should have decent amount of smoke grenades still utilizing to set out smoke trails as they make their way closer into the circle, or at least get close enough to Oculus. They still have the vehicle in hand. No TD, unfortunately, as usual. Their entry frag is out of the picture most of the time, but hey, man, he still does an insane amount of damage in the previous matches as well. So he will entrust the rest of the responsibility to the rest of the team while supporting them from the sidelines here. Vega Esports, they still have the vehicle and found the angle. Finds CJ, gets the knock. There goes Orgles, and instantly, now Vega Esports, they get a sigh of relief at the idea where, all right, we're currently almost the king of the East here. Now only left with Shadow Esports, who's slowly making their way in. The current position that they're in allows actually the Blues are going to be traversing a little bit more slower than usual. That's why we see Shadow Esports able to slowly make their way in. And oh, Vega Esports, they are loving this. Now they don't have to worry about the idea where, okay, how are we going to be making our way into the circle? Because we're still within the circle, and we still have our defensive ground that is somewhat set up with vehicles alone. Not a lot of smokes left, though, at least on the side of M, but I believe AJ or Iron Boss they have 1 or 2. So that's going to be a little bit of a saving grace later on when we see how Phase 8 circle is going to be like here. However, Shadow Esports still tiptoeing their way in, thankfully. Zen Esports currently keeping ATO members in check here. So that's going to allow Shadow Esports to have a little bit of a breathing room here. But here comes Vega Esports with the border set out. Let's see whether the Ordnance Master is going to be able to get some good shots in.
I have to keep an eye on Jaxi, though, from Shadow Esports. Vega Esports don't know that he's down south. So they could be surprised later on. But empty. Nice one onto Lolba, knocking him down. Not able to secure the elimination point yet. Jiswan will be taken out as well by Runax. Looks like the big fights are happening right now. Jiswan took a bit of risk to go straight into the middle of the circle, but he paid the price for it.
And there's the bonus we were looking for. We're going to be able to find Gops at the same time. Another one connects, and Iron Bots absolutely landing the artillery on top of ATO. Getting the necessary coordinates to land these shots and completely removing them from play. And now we're down to our final 4 here. Zen Esports previously was having the most amount of members here. They did lose one while trying to make their way into the circle here, courtesy of both Unlucky and even Vega Esports here. But now Unlucky is going to be Fevered, who actually made a forward assault here. Going to be spotted out from the sideline before the smokes actually fully dissipate here. Will be knocked down. Team comes in, it's going to be Sunny side up here to try and go for the rest. This is the kind of situation where you just need to have as many manpower as much as possible. Can't afford to lose any more members at this current point of time. Not with this many teams that's still in play, that's still contestable in this current state of time.
And most teams already inside the circle, except for one player down south. But we're going to focus on to Vega Esports right now. One nade right in front. But it was a really close one. Mbot has to get away. Second nade will not connect at all.
Oh, that really well done coming from Runax, just keeping Iron Bots in check. Not going to allow him to go for flank to try to pressure the team here. Not a lot of covers in the first place here, but if Iron Bots was able to get a really good angle, it might spell doom for the side of a team like. So really well done for Runax. He has a really nice defensive foothold set up here with the vehicle that's covering towards at least towards his southern side, a barrier on the left here too, so he can somewhat juggle between the two teams here. And like I love what you brought up as well, Sakal, regarding the role that G.Skill has to play here. Could be a potential nuisance and an archangel of destruction for any impending team here. He does have one of the potential angle of Zen Esports. I'm not sure about Vega though, but from the current angle that G.Skill is looking at, I think he only has his eye on one of the lurking members of Zen Esports here.
Yeah, and he's going to pull the trigger. Maybe not, but he has to move forward at some point as well.
5 seconds.
And he's going there. He's getting closer and closer. He wants to get a good clear shot. Will he do it against Namxiao? He does have an M4 with a hollow. Perfect weapon in this kind of situation. Okay, down. Time to take away the point. Oh, but he's going to use a molly just to secure that elimination point. Can he actually get it? No, it's behind the vehicle. Not yet. But he's moving forward right now. And that point will go to the hands of G.Skill.
Yeah, that's gonna be a steal there. Really fantastic job coming for Shadow East for just having that one lone member, despite all the odds as well with the position that was not really favorable for them either. So if we get 3 points and place on the tile, that's great. But unfortunately for Team Unlucky, just constantly getting pinned down by two teams separately, especially this is the Flatlands here as well. It now comes down to both Vega Esports and Team Zen Esports to make the final tail. Shadow East, on the other hand, I'm not sure whether the intel was somewhat passed over to the members of Zen Esports that, hey, there's still one guy, there's still one lurker that's still playing on the backside of the map. It's phase 9 now. Iron Boss is knocked down. He was actually trying to be the anchor player for the team here. So moving forward here, they didn't manage to go for the revive. Now they managed to even out the odds here. 3v3s here. But enough intel has been spread out. Now Vega knows briefly at the fact that, okay, a majority of the members of Zen Esports in that area, no one is trying to lurk out, no one is trying to spread out here, so they can just focus primarily in that area. But the same could be said for Vega here. Since they're just barely in the cover anymore. They still have the vehicles to play with here, but it's a little bit too close for comfort here. We do see a little bit of aggression coming in from AJ. Can he get out of time to go for the reset here? Gets tagged down to 1 HP. Barely lasts long enough, but now in range for the Ordnance. But does he have enough for this? So far, we do see a little bit of flashes. I'm not too sure whether he has any more grenades for this. But with that initial foothold, now you see the rest of the member of VG slowly sieging forward, stage by stage. One vehicle first, then the second vehicle, the close in the distance to bring this fight in the CQC, or at least a mid-range fight. No more long range, no more DMRs. It's all the rifles out now, and they're trying to look for that headshot to pick off here. Whereas G.Skill here, a snake in the grass. Oh, dude, this could be quite detrimental for who spots who first here. G.Skill, I think he has his visual towards Vega, mainly because of the vehicles here. But he's playing with time here. Blue Zone is slowly forcing him forward here. Zen Esports, no idea about this snake that's currently within their vicinity here. As all focus is towards VG's current position at this point of time.
And he's actually heading more towards Zen. Who might be his next target? I can't believe that the comms. Did they not know from the earlier fight that G.Skill is still there, but MT gets this one? Oraculus goes down to the hands of AJ as well. And now Kenz, no space for him to move, but he's still able to get the one knock down. Kenz, could he do it? The answer is no. It is still Vega Esports with the first chicken dinner. Not even G.Skill can stop them.
Really well done. He really waited it out as well. And I believe even G.Skill, Shadow Esports, was just able to secure that second placement point too. So pretty great coming from there, and despite the situation they were in here, but really well done coming in from Vega Esports for themselves. They couldn't get their second chicken dinner, or at least back-to-back chicken dinners last, or at least during the final match of the night. They got second place, I believe, in match 5. But now for our first match on night 2 here, or day 2, they will secure the chicken dinner in such a phenomenal manner. one that was well earned and well fought for sure. Well done.
Yeah, very well done to Jaxi, of course, who held on to a second place finish and also picking up a couple of elimination points along the way as well. And like what you say, right, considering the circumstances for Shadow Esports, they'll be pretty happy with that sort of finish for themselves. Might not be the most points collected, but then still, points are points. It doesn't matter. You still did a good job. But we have to congratulate for Game 1, Chicken Dinner, Vega Esports, and these are the best moments from Game 1.
Yeah, it's really cool, right? Because especially since most of these highlights is going to be a lot of this close quarter combat situation, pretty much very similar to what we were witnessing in match, at least during day 1 here or night 1 in this case here. A lot of CQCs, a lot of mid-range fights here for a lot of those highlights. We do see a couple of beautiful mortar kills. I thought yesterday's mortar kill coming from Team Unlucky was pretty cool, but today Iron Boss just completely topped it with the two knocks from the 2 mortars from the open field. That was really cool coming in here for the side of Vega Esports here. But yeah, other than that, Team Unlucky as well, really well earned. They did manage to get all the way to that top 4 placement here, but do remember as well, they fought their way to that position. They fended off at least two teams in their respective compounds here. And Oculus at the same time, just constantly sieging and looking out for teams. Sure, there was a couple of close for a little bit too close a comfort situation when Alter Ego started sieging forward here, but they still managed to recover. They still managed to get those 5 beautiful mortars still once again, as we saw from the highlights here. But yeah, this was a very close fight. It honestly could have gone either way, especially between both Zen Esports and Vega Esports during that last fight here.
Yeah, especially with the fact that Jaxi was still around the corner, right? Like, he could have pulled the trigger earlier and he could have just, like, be the party pooper for Vega Esports. But that didn't happen, and Vega Esports brought in a lot of eliminations along the way as well. If I'm not mistaken, at least 15 of them together with the Chicken Dinner. It's an amazing start for the team that's currently at number 1 in the overalls.
Oh, if it's actually 15 kills, and that will be the current racket here as well, because I believe the most amount of kills we had in a round and the Chicken Dinner on top of that was 18. Wow, that is absurdly insane. That is ridiculous here. That's almost enough to really just give them really extend the gap between them and Orgulous and Team Unlucky right now, because currently they in the leaderboard, right? Like in terms of points, Vega Esports currently holds the top title with 56 points, Orgulous winning 53 and Unlucky 52 here. So 18 kills, and on top of placement point, we should be 10 points. So that's 28 points here. So that's going to be a really big lead here. Team Unlucky, of course, should be able to claw that back their way in here later on, but still really great game. But anyway, this is going to be our top 4 teams here. 9 kills. That's from 2 to 3 squads they were fending off against. 1,000 total amount of damage done respectively. I mean, they took up a lot of fights. A lot of utility was expended as well. On top of that too, Shadow Esports was a little bit more on the quiet side, but they did ran into, due to circumstances. Circles not really the best positioning or compound that they have, especially with how the circles was currently shifting them all towards in as well. Flypad wasn't. They were somewhere in the circle, but how the circle was shifting didn't really give them a lot of not really the best of options for them. But hey, still managed to get that 3rd place in here. It was still really great for themselves.
Yep, and here's the match leaderboard for Vega Esports. 28 points collected, and Unlucky 13 points. So that's the double-digit club. The only team that unfortunately was not able to score any points is Zanshin there with 0. So it's something for them to reflect on as they approach the next match. Hopefully they'll be able to recover from this 0-point match. But like what you said, right, 28 points, that's a big haul there. And surely they will further extend their gap. And what kind of gap? Let's check out their total leaderboard.
Wow, about at least a 19-point gap here at least. It's really looking great here for at least a really good start for Vega Esports. Someone had a solid foundation from night 1. The starting match from night 2 is really great as well. But then again, the night's still young. We still have like 4 more matches to go here. But then also at the same time, the same could be said for some of our bottom teams here, right? So 4 matches to go. There's not a lot of matches left because since we only have 5 matches per day instead of 6 here. So a lot of ground for a lot of these teams to cover here to really try to get themselves, or at least put them in a good position in that ranking. Let's get to that top 8. So at least that day 3, that final night, you still have a fighting chance to get back into that top 4, depending on what's the plan, right? What's the mentality like for the teams here?
Yeah, but also to point out that Vega Esports, they are at 54 eliminations now. That is the most of them all. But I guess I wouldn't say it's kind of obvious, right? That's the reason that they are number 1. Sometimes like, okay, teams focus on just placement points and maybe some form of elimination here and there. But for Vega Esports, clearly their focus is on like, okay, let's try to get as many eliminations as possible. We play from the outside the circle coming in, and that's how they actually played the Erangel match. And because they played from the outside coming in, they kept meeting with other teams that also gives them the opportunity to eliminate them and gain those points.
I mean, it's the same could be said when it comes to, if we're talking about like, the question tend to bring out like, can they bring that sort of firepower on a more consistent basis, right? It's not just in terms of kills, you also want to try to balance it out with placement points on top of that, right? You can maintain that sort of consistency across all matches. You definitely will definitely the team that managed to achieve that definitely puts themselves in a really good spot here in the ranking, especially since this new format as well. We're going through 4 weekends long, or 4 weeks long here. So trying to get themselves at least top 4 most of the time, really at least increase your odds of being one of the top 2 teams to be qualifying for that EWC 2026. But also at the same time, farming up those PGC points, which is going to be quite crucial later towards the end of the year.
Oh yeah, there's a lot on the line, right? Like you have the PGC points, you have a slot to
PMS
EWC,
points, yeah.
You have the PMS points, man. I believe this is the first time there's just so much on the line for one tournament. And of course, on top of that is the prize pool and the glory as well and all that. But just like the objectives themselves, right? I think this is like the most on the line.
I mean, yes, a lot of things is on the line here. Definitely, if we're just looking back if we just look at all the current teams that we currently, especially from after match 1 for night 2, right? Sure. Last night, great night last night, to at least today, the first match was a great match too for some of the teams. Pretty much no pressure for some of the teams, right? Like, Vega Esports so far. Armor Esports is slowly trying to get their way into the works for this year. But in some ways, there's 2 ways if I'm this team at least, or at least Vega Esports from this point of view, right? If I'm this team, right, I'm thinking about like coming into tonight, how do I want to, or maybe even Team Unlucky or Team Walkless or GSW, right? If I'm this team coming into tonight, I just want to figure out like, how do I want to play this? How do I play this game, or what's going to be the philosophy, right? The first team of the thought is to kind of just carry on from what we were doing from yesterday, right? Those that was able to maintain that somewhat consistency. Some came online a little bit later towards the end of the night, not able to start off from match number 1. I believe that's going to be the same for some of the teams as well, right? Like Armor Esports, match 1, match 2, a little bit slower on their end here, but when we got to match 3 to match 5, that's where we start really seeing the engine really going. Same goes for Alter Ego here. Although that same aggression is still the same thing, it's still pretty cool to look at. Team Unlucky is still able, despite not getting the ideal position that they wanted, they still managed to make use of it. And that fight, that defense was something that I really didn't expect from him, that kind of hole against the 2 separate squad. That was a really great fight that I'm seeing from them match number 1. But let's see whether they're able to continue to maintain that in our second map here.
And this is going to be a decent flight path cutting across the map, ending at the area of Hapo. So Tego is going to be a very different pace for these teams. It's going to be a smaller map as compared to Erangel. So naturally, teams have a better chance of beating each other early on. Early on in Erangel, we saw an early meetup, but it was quickly dispersed. But for this map, okay, at the very beginning, looks like we don't see any team clashing onto each other or any hot drops. So it should be a decent start, but because it's a smaller map, we can expect like phase 3 for a lot of big fights to begin.
Yeah. Speaking of hot drop, we might just see the one between Savage Man and Team Zanshin, though. A little bit spread out, though, but majority of the team is still within their respective city or their compound itself. Army Esports, they were the first team that dropped out here. No teams are going to be contesting with them currently at this moment of time. They should be pretty comfortable with this. GSW and ATO, we still see a couple of massive long dives here, and what a circle as well. Zen Esports and Team Newbies, they're definitely loving this alongside with ATO and GSW. Pretty centralized in that circle. I'm a little bit concerned because it's just not a lot of compound. I mean, not a lot of compounds, but the compound that's currently existing within that circle has really great defensive positioning here. So I think the teams who managed to drop with relatively around that area should be able to capitalize on this situation. Whereas the rest of the squad will have to probably take long dives. I think there'll be one or two teams having very similar mindset where, okay, we probably can't go straight through the eastern side. Maybe one too many teams will be doing the exact same thing if they really want to get quickly into the circle. I wouldn't be surprised if I see teams coming from the north or the southern side. A little bit more of a longer rotation, but it does seem to be a little bit more safer side. At least for some of the teams that's currently for the bottom half of the leaderboard here, who really needs to catch up on this here. But of course, there's going to be Erangels. Our stats for Erangels is going to be our winner chicken dinner for our match one, and that's going to be VG. Respective, decent amount of damage, pretty much even out across the entire team, right? No one really standing out. M, on the other hand, has always been more of that mid to long range support player, whereas TD and Iron Boss has always been playing the role of that entry fragger or at least close quarter combat here. So the roles has been a little bit more defining from VG as like what we were witnessing for these past few matches. So pretty excited to see how well they traverse later as more matches comes in. Alter Ego, love to see the aggression. The very team that, by the way, this was the team that actually got first place in our last PMS last year for phase 2 here. So not only did we lose a vehicle, they also managed to get a nice knock on Gods. Can they convert it to the kill? Most likely, as they are literally just flushing straight into the mix. I guess they just had enough intel, the fact that there's just no other member of NRSG here. So that's going to be a nice free pickup for themselves here.
Yeah, another clue was that God was on foot. So...
Oh, wasn't there a vehicle that he actually shot the tire from, if I'm not mistaken?
I think it was going to the vehicle. But yeah, but he was running there. Okay, here's a bit of a replay from the previous match, which is MT, our man of the match. I mean, kind of obvious, right? Like, he came in with the most eliminations, which is 8, and a good amount of damage dealt as well, 764. And we saw him putting up a good performance as well, and congratulations to him as our match MVP.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying just now, right? Him being the anchor, being the role as the anchor of the team, right? Just constantly putting necessary pressure in the opposing team, allowing his team to at least try to at least close in the vision here to try to force them out into all these tight situations. So it's really well done coming from Amt. We didn't see, this is probably the most amount of kills we saw from Amt here. Because yesterday he wasn't racking up as many kills like those personally here. You talk about total kills, sure. But if you're talking about just like in a single match alone, no. I believe that's Am's current track record right now. Like that match 6 was probably his most amount of kills done by himself in a single match. So it's pretty cool coming from Am. But now Shadow Esports, they somewhat had a really rough run in our first match on night 2 here. Although did manage to, with resilience alone, to manage to secure that placement for the team here, and also able to manage to walk out with 3 kills. So it was not really like a total loss for them. Sure, kill points they will love to gotten more. I think on average they usually have like 5 to 6 kill points. On a good day they actually got like 13 points, and this is me talking about these stats from last PMS from last year. But at least today, let's see how much they're going to be able to farm for, or at least harvest for themselves here, because they're especially in terms of the leaderboard, Sir Cloud, the 7th place. They're pretty much, they're in the top 8, but it's currently at that bottom of that top 8. I believe they would love to be in that top 5, probably even top 3 by the end of tonight, before they move towards that final night tomorrow.
But the good news is that the points aren't that different. Especially in the middle pack. Like if you look at Shadow Esports, the team over them is just 2 points ahead.
Armor Esports,
and then they're like,
yeah,
Alter Ego is only 5 points ahead. So it's very, very doable still. Like even GSW is like only 12 points behind. It's still pretty okay. And plus we do have 4 games, including this one, for them to catch up on the points. So it's very doable for them still. But of course, they have to get into business right now because if not, well, if today is done, there's only one more day that's tomorrow, and then the week will be locked in.
Yep. Locked in here. NRSG not having the best of run. Night one was a disaster. Probably not what they had in mind. Match one for night two, probably not the start, and now even losing God XP at the same time. Need to really find that good positioning for themselves. Don't get me wrong, they are not passive teams. They don't really shy from a fight, and that's really great coming in from them. But at the same time, they weren't really necessarily winning those fights, and that's been quite the detriment. They've been putting a wrench into their plans here. So 3 players into the mix here. Would have loved to have that 4th player, but they're just gonna work with what they got. Team Unlucky, on the other hand, trying to make a quick headway into the safety, or at least the sanctuary of the circle. They have always found greater success when they manage to get to that positioning that they like and just really lock themselves down, entrench themselves in this case here. So in terms of course, travel, there's, wow, 62,000. All right. Coming from Runox.
And I'm looking at, there's actually 3 of his teammates there, so from Unlucky, with the highest travel distance. Yeah, so I guess, well, I mean, if one person travels, naturally the team will follow, right? Like, you don't only have that one person traveling all across the map by himself. But, oh, look at this. Lots of damage on the trick from Alter Ego Esports. And the drive-by by Alcatera took him out.
Yeah, Dip is going to get a nice pickup on trick here. Alter Ego still trying to see if they can continue to chase the place. It looks like Orca decided to continue to take this fight head on. Initially, I believe they wanted to try to go for the fallback here, but unfortunately, that's not going to be the case. They try to turn things around here. But Alter Ego, who already initially set up shop first, would be having the initial advantage to really go for the spray down here. Dip, on the other hand, is just constantly doing donut circles, trying to rounding back to see if there's a better opportunity here. Gets a little bit more advantage point to try to see and play Overwatch to put a little bit of pressure on Alter Ego here, but Orca just losing 2 initial members here within this 2v. Actually, no, it's a 2v2. Seems pretty much doable, but we do have the Panzer Faust here pushing forward. Not going to be able to connect on anyone, but Cody will be able to secure at least a kill point for the team. 8 HP, almost got knocked down. The headshot was not going to be coming through here for Alter Ego to get that 3rd knock. He pushes forward. The headshot comes in from Dip on the other hand on C-Boy. And now Alter Ego down to the final man here. Orca, who initially was having the short end of the stick here, managed to turn things around, finding crucial headshots to win out a lot of these core fights and forcing Alter Ego to back off.
And we are still at 16 teams, so if Queen goes out right now, then, well, it will be no place on points for him. So he has to survive for the team, and it's still going to be quite a survive that he has to pull out. There goes the 2 players of Alter Ego confirmed, eliminated, and points collected by Alcatera, just like that, just by driving around and playing donuts with them.
Yeah, no, the crazy thing about it is that the fact that Alter Ego was not able to get those kill points for themselves here. That 1 kill point was actually from, I believe it was from NRSG, one of the members of NRSG here. So out of all that conflict, out of all that exchange here, they did manage to get some really good knocks here, but the damage was just too significant here. They just have to fall back here. It was such a massive loss here for Alter Ego. Now the option that's left for viable for them, at least for this round alone, is just so limited for them as just for a single core member. The newbies, on the other hand, fortunately for that UAV, there's just no vehicle. There's no wheels left for that vehicle here. So gotta find another vehicle in the open plains here. Snipe Paul trying to keep it in check. It looks like Xiao Fan coming in to pick up their IGL show. So Show is not going to be stranded out in the open for too long. He did drop out a defensive smoke just in case for a decent amount of cover. So they managed to go for the pickup here. Should be able to bring it to safety. Oh, a nice tag. Not enough for the knock, unfortunately, here. But coming from Team Newbies, Anarchy. This is the player that from yesterday, he was doing massive amount of damage, by the way. Both Anarchy alongside with Translucent. Both these 2 players was pretty much just going on a mad tear. Unfortunately, not enough to really secure like multiple team wipes here, but enough to secure for the team at least a decent amount of kill points to put them up in the leaderboard here. But ideally, try to get to that top 8. I believe that's going to be the goal for a lot of this team who's currently in that bottom half of that leaderboard.
And we have Unforgiven, and looks like the rest of Team Newbies. They are playing this a little bit safe, but it's okay. They have the high ground advantage. You can see teams rotating around them. Unforgiven again, tapping away with the MK12. Managed to hit one shot onto his target, but not enough. It's not that easy to hit past that window.
I mean, yeah, phase 1 to phase 2, right? Is that kind of thing you don't necessarily or obviously go for broke, right? Or just full send it, right? I think it's just very much just trying to scout things out, see what's available, see what's the pressure is going to, where the pressure is going to be coming from, what can they take in terms of compounds, in terms of position, then just spread out, get more information, right? So far, like I think that's pretty much like what happened, like when we were seeing like from the POV coming from Alcatara, from one of the members right in the car. But what a hit coming in from Unforgiven. That's gonna be Feven, gonna make him bite the dirt here. So that's gonna be a nice pickup. Can he convert it to the kill? I believe it's in the open area, right? When he actually dropped Feven.
Yeah, he is quite open.
Yeah, does he not have the angle? I guess he just doesn't have the angle yet. Or he's just being extra careful just not to be sniped out before securing a kill. I'm not too sure. We lost the POV, but there was still a really great knock while mid rotation is. But actually, although Team Newbie was the one that got the knock, Xiao Feng will be the one to secure the point for the team.
Here it is. UNC tapping away. But not able to hit his target yet, and now he will lose sight of his previous aim. And Jerry is just right in front of him as well. Looks like they're going to avoid this fight. They're just going to travel all the way to somewhere safer. But look at Oculus. Look at the spread. They're going to stop anyone who passes by.
Yeah. You get the beauty about this spread, right, is that although yes, it does come to risk, right? But it's the kind of thing where you're just able to cover more ground, like what I was mentioning just now, right? Just in terms of positioning or compound, and just get as many information as you can while this early, right? Because from August's point of view, for the position they actually dropped this one at least the south side of half hole, there's just no one that's going to be confronting them from that south, at least from that southwestern side. So it's just primarily just Armored Esports that just recently came in from a different area here, trying to get control of the circle. But now with the circle shifting towards that northern side, both Oculus and Armored Esports, or at least Armored Esports, who are currently already within the vehicle itself, will be making quick headway to get more position control. It's phase 3 right now. This is where we see a little bit more conflict here, since still pretty much an open area, this current location here. So everyone wants to try and get a really great position to hold out for sure. Newbies on the other hand, still pretty comfortable alongside with Team Unlucky, but I believe the goal is also going to be making their way soon here. They just need to get a little bit more intel. They spotted Armored Esports, not knowing whether it's an Armored Esports spot, but they definitely know a squad just recently passed by them. Zen Esports, on the other hand, also within close proximity. A good spray, by the way, coming from Akosi Ray on the other side. It's going to be on AJ here, but ATO is going to be the one to secure the kill.
Sichuan takes a lot of damage. Down to 23. He has to heal up, but not able to find a good space to actually do that. And he's being knocked down by Aljin bots from afar. And Namxiao tries to seek revenge, but is looking at another team. So they're managing a couple of teams at the same time. That's not good news for Zen Esports.
Yeah, but they do still have the positioning for themselves. They're still within the circle too. But by the way, not a great spot to get off from Aljin bots. Instantly spotting him out. That's gonna be a second knock coming in from Happy Squad. Whereas on the other hand, we do see ATO will be able to find one of the members of Shadow Esports here. And now this is going to be a confrontation from the eastern side. This is what I was telling you about before, right? Where some teams, not all the teams will be coming from the eastern side. Some will be coming from down south here, or there's a little bit more of a longer migration here. But finally, we are interacting with the team that's coming from the eastern side. And it's going to be Shadow Esports going head-to-head with ATO. Not far from them either. It's actually going to be, I believe that is Team Zenshin as well. But whether do they have vision of them, or at least a scope vision of them? It's going to be a little bit of a different story. But ATO crashes in. Great aggression coming in from Jexy. Definitely something to be expected from Shadow Esports as they clean out the house for positioning for themselves here. ATO playing a little bit, doing a little bit of a safer call. 2 members gets knocked out. Not going to further push their aggression. Decides to fall back and give the location give the location to the side here or Shadow Esports here. They have earned their fight here. ATO intends to keep themselves in the game much longer here.
Nice use of a terrain there by Shadow Esports, living up to the name of being the Shadow and sneaking up. And now they have a pretty decent position, but this position will definitely change. Okay, all the way hardship towards the left side, and look who's in the middle of it. It's Happy Squad, all 4 of them locked in the middle of the current circle.
It was really great, and with the position coming from majority team as well, I guess you could say like at least 9 out of 10 games, right? Most likely with that kind of circle, it's definitely going to be shifting towards you. At least the teams could be well assured that circle is definitely going to be going to the southwestern side. If it goes to the north side, that will be that 1 out of 10 chance, 1 out of 10 games that will shift towards the north side. But anyway, great nade, decent harass coming from the north side. The kill feed is going on an absolute tear, especially with how small the circle currently is, as team is fighting for respective control of their respective agents here as well. All being easily spotted out. Not a lot of compound or decent cover except for vehicles or small shacks. Now they're constantly just trading back and forth. NRSG finding some new life, and it's exactly what I was trying to see. Love to see it. Comes in, and they will also be the one that will be removing Orca Terra from this round.
And just got dipped down on the ground. And Kamal's will be knocked down as well by Bots. Vega Esports now in action. Savage Man Esports now down to only Upchen and London. Upchen, London. They are pretty much side by side now in this shack. And more teams coming around the corner. It doesn't help the fact that they are on the outside of the circle now.
Oh, man, it's just choked out of options here, especially coming from Team Newbies here. Just too many teams surrounding that southern side of that circle. If we were counting Team News initially, we were looking at 5 to 6 teams just battling for control. Not a lot of coverage. There's a couple of shacks. That's pretty much why you see defensive sports coming down from Savage Man Esports to just increase their survivability here. Team Monk, on the other hand, had a nice head start. Was trying to slowly pin them at the shack. Savage Man Esports, unfortunately, will be removed from play here. Now we're slowly dwindling down to our 13 teams. Might be even less now, as NRSG took way too much damage from VG. But what a spray coming in from Turtle. But before he could actually seal the deal, TD comes in for the save. And that's going to allow M and the rest of the squad to survive for another round. But Iron Bots gets spotted from the long distance here. And that's going to be a DMR. Not just from the south, but even from the east. Much too much damage. Thankfully, just in time to go for the revive. TD comes in for the cover to cover the back of the team as they try to go for the reset here. Rest on the other side. At least the center part of that circle. We have Armored Esports. They all saw it. They all saw the shack. They all saw the vehicle. They know for a fact someone is there. GSW. Beautiful ordinance, beautiful name. Just to be able to knock out Sync. Sly Fox coming in with the defensive smoke once again. Notice what they fully utilize it as well. And now initially they thought they were trying to prepare the siege Armored Esports, but now they had to worry about GSW. Potentially, if Armored East was able to spot this in time, they could actually try to sandwich Team Zenship and remove another variable from the equation.
And Happy Squad got the middle of the circle again. Man, this is looking real good for Happy Squad. But they have to make the most out of it. Right now, Monk with 5 elimination points after taking out Jaxi, the second place finisher in the previous round, representing Shadow Esports. Monk now looking for their next target. It's going to be Hanzi. Just right in front of the... Okay, Asu saw it. He saw it. He's cooking up the snake, sending it across. Hope to damage, hope to knock, hope to finish him off. And looks like not yet. Hanzi is still alive.
Oh, man, but... really great stuff coming from Team Zenshin. They were really need to, especially we're talking about a lot of things. This is day 2, right? A lot of the team is really trying to kick into high gear to really try to get those points. And now even Team Zenshin coming to the fray, stepping up as well. But it's, you know, pretty much it's an open area, right? This is a territory that's isn't super safe at all. It's very vulnerable and very out in the open. So a lot of teams just constantly just rotating by. You're going to get into a lost situation, a lot of fights, which you're not very comfortable with, but you just don't really have much of a choice. Teams are literally trying to see if they can flush you out, trying to get some form of control in any way possible here. And look at that, 11 teams. It's a by the way, just think of it this way, right, Circle. It's a phase 5 circle, open lands here, barely any cover, very open areas here. And there's still 10 teams available here. It is such it feels so congested for teams here as they're trying to find some form of control for themselves or find some kind of security. It looks like Zenshin, they just had enough. They just don't want to do this mid-range fight anymore. They can't draw it out any further. All this battle of attrition here is causing a lot of utility, a lot of resources here. And look at the kill feed, right? Everyone's just trying to find their way to get those knocks. Some able to convert to those kills. And some were still able to go for that reset once again. Everyone's pretty much just limping their way into that phase 5. It's an absolute chaos right now.
Oof. And the chaos will continue, especially with the fact that Monk is not in the circle yet. And they need to fight through Vega Esports. But Vega Esports, they're stuck between a couple of teams, including ATO on the southern side. And it looks like they will go for it. And Vega Esports, empty, shut down with a Panzer by Kiat from ATO. And looks like Vega Esports did not survive the brick walls in front of them.
It's
Apaan sih, Bang?
too tough. It's really so tough. It's because like look at the open fields in that circle, right? You got that two, like especially by the way, thank you as we were waiting for the next phase, right? Look at the two open fields in that circle, right? It's two large open fields. Teams.
Belum kelihatan sedari tadi. Masih ada 2 orang tersisa dari tim.
Asik nonton malah di skip Tius.
Dan Alter Ego di daerah mana tuh belum kelihatan juga, tapi dari seorang Cibirit ya. Win Cibirit bukan sih? Betul ya? Cibirit yang masih still survive hingga ke zona fase ke-6 sudah terpop up. Oh, masuk juga tim Alter Ego di sana. Cibirit. Dan dari beberapa tim ini memang sedikit open field, teman-teman. Kita bisa lihat zona fase ke-6 kali ini. Dari beberapa tim Unlucky, tim Orglos juga, tim Happy apalagi yang
biar bahasa Indonesia, Bang.
Mereka di dalam area circle yang cukup enak yang tadi sempat dimention oleh Rere. Dan bener aja mereka sudah dapat 5 poin kill. At least mereka bisa survive hingga top 4. Itu memang dari segi positioning mereka sangat diuntungkan, teman-teman. Dan enak banget malah dari tadi memang zonanya di situ-situ aja nggak berubah sama sekali. Dan ini bisa lihat dari tim Happy sedikit-sedikit mencicil.
Selamat menonton.
Steal kill. Itu kesempatan baik banget bagi tim Happy kali ini.
Iya, ini udah bisa gue bilang hampir 80%. Mungkin WWCD bisa didapatkan oleh Happy Squad karena kita tahu kualitas dari tim ini benar-benar bagus banget. Entah itu dari sisi defense maupun mereka mau attack juga bagus. Dan sekarang Queen akan menangkap As. Spray down As. Turn up down oleh Cibirit. Hampir saja Panzernya mendapatkan kill, tapi untungnya 1 elim didapatkan juga oleh Queen. Tambahan kill lumayan. Bersama dengan placement apabila Queen bisa tumbang di sini. Ada 1 placement yang bisa didapatkan dan betul aja. Nikos yang langsung menyelesaikan Queen. Di hashtag 8 untuk Alter Ego tambahan 1 poin. Jadi total 3 poin yang mereka bawa di match ke-7 ini.
Yes, lumayan 3 poin untuk di posisi yang sekarang Alter Ego. At least mereka masih bisa ada beberapa match yang masih bisa survive. Dan bisa menaiki leaderboard. Itu masih bisa ada chance di sini juga dari tim. Berani pandang RZ dari tim Zansin kali ini tersisa 2 orang. Dari tim Zansin. Terspot juga dari sisi lain. Happy mengganggu. Di sisi lain, sudah mulai terlihat Gilly Sweet juga ini menjadi keuntungan bagi RZ kali ini. Karena dari kontur map ini sih diuntungkan banget bagi Gilly Sweet. Tapi tim Ato kali ini harusnya dia menyadari bahwasanya ada tim Zansin di depan mereka. Sudah terlihat ada peperangan. Spray ke arah depan tim Ato kali ini. Melihat.
Itu voice cewek matiin aja, Bang.
Dan Ato harus puas di posisi ke-7 memang sulit untuk ke arah depan
ya
dari tim Ato.
Ini tim Indonesia semuanya harus terelim di match ini ya. Reset tenang, masih ada 3 match lagi untuk hari ini. PUBG itu nggak semua poin
Bang.
penting di 1 match saja, teman-teman. Semua match itu penting. Jadi masih ada 3 match lagi, masih banyak kesempatan. 1 WWCD aja bisa naik ke peringkat atas, bisa gue bilang. Kecuali memang Vega emang agak sulit buat dikejar. Sekarang Unlucky akan coba untuk bergerak lagi. 1 main menggunakan nggak sempet set up mortarnya. Karena memang ada 1 buat zona yang sudah mengikis. Happy masih aman. Lu bisa lihat Happy dapetin circle di pinggiran jalan. Rumah yang mereka isi dari tadi itu masih di dalam zona. Ini gimana nggak nyayur Happy? Dengan 4 pemain yang mereka miliki, 7 elim udah mereka dapetin.
7 elim. Lagi-lagi kena posisi mereka itu di kompon yang cukup enak. Menurut gue tinggal steal kill, cari kesempatan, dan ada pergerakan dari tim-tim lain pun. Gak ditutup saja, tapi Goni di sini terus spot saja. Dan sulit memang untuk survive di sana, unlucky harus posisi kelima. Dari seorang Goni tersisa memang satu orang di sana dari tim unlucky. Tentrip di sini. Happy. Sudah melihat ada satu tapping-tapping di arah depan. CJ di sana sepertinya. Oh, Dragunovnya juga sudah mulai di-tap ke arah depan. Oh, harus hati-hati. All Glass terspot sudah oleh tim Happy kali ini. Tim Philippines. Terhadap tim Philippines juga ternyata dari tim Orgils di sana masih 2 orang juga. Belum terspot saja oleh tim Happy kali ini. Ini kondisinya hampir sama kayak tim Unlucky kemarin. Jadi Unlucky itu di posisi di area rumahan kayak gini, tinggal nunggu momentum tim-tim yang masuk ke area mereka. Dan memang ini menjadi keuntungan bagi tim Happy sih. Kalau menurut gue, dan tim Mong juga belum kelihatan dari tadi Zen tersisa sendirian. Ini enak banget karena 2 orang dari di atap rumah, 1 di atap lantai 3. Itu enak banget sih.
Ini udah nyaman banget tentunya untuk para pemain dari tim Happy. Glass juga main konsisten. 3 elim didapatkan, Mong juga dengan 9 elim, tapi kesempatan itu masih ada di tangan Mong. Mungkin. Dan sekarang, mana pemain-pemain dari Happy. Harusnya ini bakalan bisa dapetin WWCD, harusnya. Wajib malah bisa gue bilang, dengan zona yang mereka miliki.
Yes, harusnya memang dari tim Happy dari tadi yang tadi lo mention, Ray, ini kesempatan bagi mereka sih. Untuk bisa mendapatkan WWCD, dan ini mortarnya tipis banget. Ke kiri dikit aja. Itu mungkin menjadi bulan-bulanan bagi tim Mong yang sudah standby di sana. Oh, langsung dikeker saja oleh seorang Alex di sini. Dan posisi kembali, mortar juga sudah mulai diluncurkan ke arah depan. Mong harus berhati-hati. Trigger sepertinya itu menjadi trigger bagi mortarnya. Benar sekali, langsung on point Alex. Mendapatkan dari seorang Wins dan juga Nikos.
Itu belajar dari Imbot, jelas.
Belajar dari Imbot sih.
Kalkulasinya, perhitungannya semuanya Imbot yang ngajarin itu.
Late game. Lagi-lagi late game.
Mode late game udah mirip sama Imbot jelas. Dan sekarang Happy 4 lawan 1-1 harusnya enak banget. Bisa diselesaikan sekarang juga, dan tentu kali ini Orclus dengan 1 pemain yang akan di knock ataupun dihidupkan kembali. Dan lu bisa lihat Happy udah mulai bergerak mencari sisa pemain yang ada. Orakulos juga masih dengan 0. 10, 6, 5 poin tapi mereka dapetin di placement.
Match 1 juga kalau lu sempet ingat, Zen lagi-lagi masuk late game.
Iya.
Dengan 0 poin.
Iya.
Itu dia.
Apaan dah orang main begini? Main ranked aja. Aduh,
tapi ini udah splitting.
Isi hati gue keluar lagi.
Waduh. Itu sih agak gimana gitu ya. Tapi lu lihat, Re, dari tim Happy mereka splitting. 2 di sana, 2 di sebelah kiri. Itu apalagi 2 di tengah. Wah, itu agak sulit sih memang dari beberapa tim ini, dari Orculus dan juga Zen. Ini agak sulit. Memang Oraculus coba menjadi cacing-cacing di sana dan langsung terspot oleh seorang CZ. Mendapat poin itu cukup enak untuk tim Orculus di sini. 6 poin kill sudah dikantongi. Dan sudah mulai ada peperangan tim Orculus dan juga tim Happy. Oh, ini ternyata tim Philippines versus tim Philippines kali ini.
Iya. Dan CJ. Ini cuman hal konyol yang membuat Happy bisa aja hilang poinnya ataupun kena eliminasi, nggak mungkin. Orclus salah satu pemainnya bakalan mati dengan gaya di arah blue zone. Dan yap, tumbang. 1 pemain lagi, Alek. Apakah bisa untuk melawan 1 versus 100 dengan winner chicken dinner untuk Happy Squad. Dan itu dia untuk match kedua. Setelah ini kita akan break dulu teman-teman semua. Izinkan kita untuk rehat. Jangan kemana-mana, tetap di PUBG Master Series 2026.
new out-of-this-world game mode, destructible terrain on Erangel, and some new gun attachments. All this and more as we dive into the Update 41.1 patch report. First up, there's a new threat to Miramar, and this one commands an extraterrestrial army. In PUBG's newest game mode, Xenopoint, you and your team will fight back against the invasion, choosing from different paths, upgrading your gear, and fighting against increasing odds to challenge and defeat the Architect. It's a challenging mixture of roguelite and third-person shooter that will keep you and your team pushing the limits to see how far you can go. There's even an event pass to go with it, so you can collect cool rewards while saving the entire human race. Next, Erangel's about to go through a little forced landscaping now that we've added destructible terrain. Frag grenades, mortars, the Panzerfaust, C4, and vehicle explosions will all alter the terrain around them when they explode. You could also use the pickaxe to dig yourself some cover. We should note that the destruction does not apply to buildings, so you're safe indoors for now. Keep an eye out for destructible terrain in ranked games as well, and during custom match esports mode on Erangel, Miramar, Rondo, and Tago. Guns are getting a few more attachments this update as well. The hybrid scope will let you easily swap between 1x and 4x magnification. We've also added a new tilted grip, a solid starter choice that improves both horizontal and vertical recoil, while also reducing camera shake. To make room for this new toy, the angled foregrip has been removed. We also decreased the base horizontal and vertical recoil on the Dragunov. There's also a new emergency support flare to call in a care package. New level 1 and level 3 jammer pack with storage space equal to their level.
Selamat datang kembali di PUBG Master Series 2026 dan masih bersama kita berdua ada Rere Bredel dan juga
Harley.
Dan kita akan memasuki match ke-8.
Ketiga.
Ya, ketiga
hari
ataupun
ini
ke-8.
Betul.
Betul, dimana tadi kita sudah saksikan juga tim Indonesia di match kedua kurang oke. Tapi di match pertama tadi Vega membuktikan mereka benar-benar on point banget, mereka benar-benar ganas banget. Tapi gue berharap di match ketiga ini, di match ke-8 itu tim Indonesia bisa mendapatkan hasil yang terbaik. Ada 4 tim Indonesia dan ada 1 tim Malaysia yang memang isinya 2 pemain Indonesia, ada Teddy dan juga Imbot. Dan sekarang tentu kita masih menunggu dan ini untuk persiapan dari semua tim yang akan bermain. Ada Happy yang sebelumnya mendapatkan WWCD dengan kill yang lumayan.
Bagus.
Ditambah mereka dapetin tempat yang benar-benar tidak tersentuh, itu dia. Rumahnya di tengah-tengah zona.
Rumahnya benar-benar tengah-tengah zona hingga ke late game ya. Hingga ke late game itu catatan tuh. Jadi bagi beberapa tim yang mungkin bisa dapat placement di situ tuh kayak enak banget sih, dari middle sampai ke late game di situ aja. Dan oke, ini sepertinya udah akan masuk ke match. Let the battle begin. Untuk di map Rondo di match ke-8 kali ini. Dan kita bisa lihat untuk dari jalur flight path ini dari arah mana menuju arah kemana nih di map Rondo kali ini. Oke. Dan di map Rondo sih gue kemarin ya, waktu PGC kemarin, PGS kemarin, di sini banyak momen. Apalagi ada perbukitan batu tuh.
Iya.
Itu menjadi perangannya cukup enak banget, sustain banget di situ.
Iya, cuman kita belum tahu nih zonanya bakalan seperti apa karena Rondo ini cenderung lambat. Mengingat posisi tempatnya ini lumayan luas. Ini
Luas
salah
banget.
satu map yang luas juga karena perairannya nggak banyak. Dibandingkan Miramar kan mereka masih ada sedikit laut-lautnya ataupun selat-selatnya gitulah.
Iya.
Tapi kalau di Rondo bener-bener lu bisa lihat jalur sungainya pun tipis. Jadi bisa gue bilang ini salah satu map yang datarannya lumayan banyak, itu Rondo.
Yes, bener banget. Karena memang dari map juga udah kelihatan banget sih. Dan di Rondo tuh kalau nggak salah ada map yang dimana itu ada sungai yang bener-bener ini gak sih, yang udah mau habis airnya tuh, yang surut banget. Nah itu bisa jadi late game-nya kayak gitu tuh, di tempat-tempat kayak gitu. Tapi kita bisa lihat dari beberapa tim sudah mulai menuju ke area mereka masing-masing. Dan ada alter ego juga di area atas, teman-teman. Kita bisa lihat dari jalur flight pad-nya.
Kemana nih?
Jadena, udah
Lu Jadena?
Iya.
Gue Meran.
Ditembak gue masalahnya. Gue langsung kaget, gue apa nih? Jadena deh, udah gak apa-apa.
Oke, gue Meran ya,
Meran.
kanan, Imbot dan kawan-kawan ada di sana. Kayaknya Vega lagi oke sih. Alter Ego juga di kanan atas. Ini kalau sampai ke Meran atau Jadena City, jalur rotasi dari tim Alter Ego juga gak terlalu jauh.
Yes, betul sekali. Baru di-mention.
Iya.
Meran tercover, Jadena ke-cover dikit sih.
Dikit. Cuman Alter Ego menurut gue jalur rotasi mereka kalau misalnya ke arah utara terus ke arah timur sedikit, itu masih oke. Gak ada siapapun yang ada di sana. Ya banter-banternya ketemu sama tim Vega tadi. Cuman masih aman banget. Itu kanan, arah timur itu masih oke. Masih kosong.
Kosong banget sih memang di area kanan atasnya. Dan ini juga ada untuk dari Taigo WCD Team, yaitu adalah tim Happy. Yang cukup sustain tadi untuk dari segi tempat atau sampai ke late game-nya itu mereka ngecek poinnya ke sana enak banget sih. Dari awal mid game sampai ke late game. Dan benar-benar mereka mendapatkan WWCD karena memang possibility-nya memang tinggi. Kalau untuk tim Happy. Dan terakhir malah tim Orgles lah yang memang sudah terpojok di sana dan memberikan WWCD. Dan ini untuk man of the match yaitu dari seorang Monty. Ini sebenarnya dari
transfer pemain dari Australia. Monty sih salah satu pemain yang bisa gue bilang tajam banget. Dan tiba-tiba masuk ke tim Happy sih ini transfer yang luar biasa. Karena biasanya kan ya mereka pakainya ya udah pemain-pemain Filipina aja gitu. Sekarang udah banyak bursa transfer antar negara gitu loh.
Iya.
Kayak dari kemarin memang udah ada, cuman kayak jauh juga, maksudnya dari Australia ke Filipina, terus ya Malaysia Indonesia nggak terlalu jauh lah. Jadi seru gitu. Banyak beberapa perubahan ketika Monty masuk ke Happy ya tentu dia bawa sedikit perubahan, ada sedikit bumbu-bumbu yang berbeda. Happy-nya jadi punya POV yang lain lah. Apa yang dipunya sama Monty, pengalamannya sebelumnya dan sekarang dibawa ke Happy. Dan sekarang juga Vega, AG sempat melakukan spray dan memberikan damage yang lumayan ke arah Nan. Dan posisinya Nan pun untungnya masih bisa hidup. Dan tentu Nan sekarang akan mencoba untuk nge-call rekan-rekannya atau mungkin survive selama mungkin di tempat tersebut, mengingat tempatnya masih cukup aman dan udah dijiggle tadi. Headshot. Dan salah satu pemain Nan akan tumbang oleh nade-nya sendiri karena tadi sedang memasak granat. Dan time trip juga tumbang di tangan empty. Ini Vega lagi kesurupan banget bro.
Wah gila sih. Gila banget. Aji dari tadi memang dengan side-nya set dari M4 juga udah gila banget tadi, on point langsung headshot dan ini di sana langsung menutup saja dari trip. Oraculus di sana mendapatkan dari seorang Algian Bot di sana langsung dari tim Happy, malah yang tadi WWCD langsung saja 3 orang terculik. Apakah memang terjadi dari Chicken Tebitlah Tusun ini aduh kenapa nih tim Happy nih?
Baru happy sisa 1 nih, ya udahlah modal survive aja. Karena di mode TPP ketika lu memang nggak bisa ngidupin temen lu pakai blue chip dan di blue chipnya udah di lock posisinya maupun dihancurin, ya udah jalan satu-satunya main basi. Main basi itu ya udah ngefront, ada perang diem, sama yang dilakukan sama G.Skill tadi main basinya, tapi di top 6 kalau nggak salah, nggak dari awal karena sisa 2 pemain kan tadi dari tim Shadow Esports dan G.Skill main basinya pas di top 5, top 4, ya oke lah. Jadi dari awal harus main basi banget nih salah satu pemain dari tim Happy kecuali dia bisa recall. Tapi ini dia untuk statistik dari Zen. Di mana kill yang didapatkan oleh Namshao dengan 1221 dan juga 4 kill lebih tepatnya ya teman-teman. Ada Orakulos juga dan satu elim yang sudah didapatkan Zexuan dari sisi yang lain. Kamal dengan M4 menangkap Zexuan. Tidak terlihat memang. Kita butuh replay apa yang dilakukan oleh Kamal membuat Zexuan juga harus ter-knockdown.
Wah ini seperti biasa sebenarnya, tapi di sisi lain Alter Ego kedatangan tamu oleh tim lagi kali ini spray. Saya Cibiring ditabrak saja 2 bahkan didapatkan 2. Didapatkan oleh seorang Tricky. Langsung ditutup saja. Sepertinya tim Unlucky memang sangat, ya untuk saat ini memang tidak unlucky. Tapi Alter Ego lagi-lagi di sini mendapatkan 2 poin cuma-cuma. At least itu oke banget sih. Untuk dari tim Alter Ego mereka menjegal dari tim Unlucky dan Runax. Apalagi Runax nih. Runax yang didapat oleh tim Alter Ego adalah Runax itu menjadi anchornya dari tim Unlucky kali ini. Tapi di sisi lain Vega sudah kedatangan tamu kah oleh tim Zen kali ini, tapi jauh banget sih. Tapi tinggi kali ini tapping dengan MK12 yang ke arah depan. Belum mendapatkan knock, tapi ada mobil yang harusnya memang bisa di-delay saja untuk pergerakan dari vehicle-nya. Jadi Vega Esport nih memang lagi gila banget, 20 poin.
20 poin.
20 poin nih. Gimana tuh? Sisa 3 match masih oke sebenarnya per match masih possibility masih tinggi.
23 ya gap poinnya ya.
Iya, gap poinnya 23 poin, tapi itu poin aktif.
Yes.
Poin aktif masalahnya, bukan poin yang benar-benar diem nih. Gila banget, tapi memang MT, TD, AJ, Imbot sih dari match pertama lagi gila banget sih memang, jujur.
Ya, dan sekarang dari Vega Esports, MT masih cukup sabar. Di mana posisi dari tim Vega ini masih nunggu arahan. AJ juga sedang mencari tempat di phase yang pertama. Sampai dengan menit 10 mungkin ini bakalan gini-gini aja. Mengingat jalur rotasi mereka sudah dilakukan dan beberapa pencegalan juga tadi sudah terjadi. Dan seharusnya di menit 8 sampai dengan 10 mereka udah dapetin tempat yang cukup aman. Tapi ini dia untuk Tera. Karena ada spray, Cats masih ingin lebih untuk mendapatkan satu eliminasi. Tenisa yang menjadi korban atas spray dari seorang Cats, tapi untungnya Imbot lagi-lagi duo Tachibana asal Indonesia berhasil untuk melakukan trade kill dengan sangat cepat. Ken juga harus tumbang dan langsung ada misi penyelamatan terhadap TD. Terus smoke-nya nyaris saja connect, Orakulos tidak mendapatkan kill tersebut bersama dengan adanya berapa drop tadi yang mungkin akan diambil. Dan sekarang posisi dari tim Zen Esports akan mencoba untuk bergerak lagi. Shadow Esports, Kamal yang sebelumnya mendapatkan satu elim sudah dikonversikan menjadi satu buah poin tentunya untuk Shadow Esports. Dan sekarang posisi dari tim Shadow Esports Cheksi mencoba untuk melakukan tembak-menembak. Indo ada berapa tim yang diambil? Sekarang ada 4 tim ditambah 1 tim yaitu Vega. Ada 2 pemain Indonesia. Itu
cukup banyak.
Ya.
Pemain Indo.
4, 8, 12, 16, 18 pemain
18
Indonesia.
Pemain Indo.
Ya.
Yes, itu termasuk oke banget sih.
Yeah.
PMS kali ini 18 pemain Indo tuh kayak wow. Banyak bro.
Dari 64, 18-nya pemain Indo. Berarti kurang lebih 25%-nya nih.
25% pemain Indo kan
30 ya, 25-30-an lah.
Ya, at least segitu tuh udah termasuk mendominasi. Kalau dari segi player teman-teman ya.
Ya.
Dari segi player itu banyak juga. Ternyata tim Indo ada 4 tim lumayan.
Jadi ya. Dan sekarang kesempatan jadi semakin besar untuk tim Indonesia ya. Tentunya teman-teman. Info AP. Kode redeem nanti match kelima setelah ada first kill.
Yes.
Iya. Dan sekarang zona 22 kah?
22.
4, 8, 12, 16, 4, 8. Iya,
Kalau hitungan 5.
sama cadangan-cadangannya.
Sama cadangannya, 22, benar.
Iya. Mohon maaf.
Direvisi sedikit lah.
Iya,
Kalau
thank
sama
you.
cadangan 22 betul.
Bisa. Oke, zonanya agak ngebanting ke kiri, sedangkan Neox Factory yang masuk ke arah zona. Dan ini dia dari Hansi Shadow Esports. Kali ini memang terlihat masih cukup santai untuk rondo kita kali ini. Di menit 10 bahkan belum ada satu tim pun yang tumbang. Hanya ada Happy yang memang kehilangan 3 pemain setelah Chicken. Tapi ini dia untuk Shadow Esports, 7 elim dari Setsuna. Kemudian G.Skill dengan 6, Hansi 9, dan juga Kamals dengan 2. Tapi damage-nya 7 kill sama 2 kill sama tuh 900-an. Iya.
Iya, masih bisa sustain lah intinya dari tim Shadow Esports. Dan sisi lain Alex juga mendapatkan dari si Oraculus. Dan lagi-lagi Zen terculik lagi satu. Sisa satu lagi dari seorang Now dia di sana coba rotasi cepat saja untuk mencari tempat yang cukup aman untuk bagi tim Zen. Karena sisa sendirian kali ini dari beberapa tim di sini. Oraculus juga sudah aman banget di area perbukitan sana, tapi game start win kali ini. Dan pergerakan dari tim Newbie di sana lagi-lagi di tap oleh tim Newbie terhadap tim game start win kali ini. Belum ada peperangan kembali, belum dibuka karena zona juga masih zona fase 2. Menuju zona fase ketiga sedikit lagi, 2 menit akan menutup menuju zona fase ketiga. Dan game start win, mereka sudah mendapatkan checkpointnya di area perumahan sini, tapi mereka langsung saja bergerak cepat untuk mencari area di dalam white circle. Dan kita masih bisa lihat dari beberapa tim, dan kita masih belum melihat dari Alter Ego tadi, walaupun memang sudah menculik 2 dari tim Happy. Tim Zen. Tim Zen tadi sudah menculik 2 dari tim Zen. Dari tim Alter Ego ya lumayan untuk di early game dapat 2 poin tuh masih cukup bisa ngeboost poin, karena posisi mereka masih di posisi ke-6. Masih possibility-nya masih tinggi banget untuk bisa merangsak naik ke posisi 3 bahkan 2 di sini.
Iya. Dan sekarang aku sih Zansin Amin saran makan jam segini sih asiknya rice bowl oke. Nasi goreng
template
kurang nasi goreng
template
minyaknya tergantung nih. Kadang ada yang nasi goreng minyaknya buset. Yang paling simple sih nasi setengah. Biasain nasinya tuh beras merah beras putih tuh. Kalau mau jaga tuh. Terus sama ya daging sapi lah. Atau ayam dada juga oke. Jam segini sayur tuh kadang kalau lu beli di warteg udah kurang hangat. Kecuali lu
gitu.
beli capcay di tukang nasi goreng tuh.
Nah,
asik.
itu asik. Boleh tuh capcay berarti ya rekomendasinya teman-teman.
Capcay.
Capcay oke sih. Hidup sehat teman-teman ya.
Iya, hidup sehat.
Itu dia.
Iya.
Aduh. Dan 4 besar lolos tahap selanjutnya. Enggak gitu konsepnya. Cuman dua besar tapi nunggu 4 week teman-teman ya. Bukan di week 1 doang nih. Karena ada 4 week. Jadi
nanti
ditunggu. Diakumulasi. Dan 2 tim itulah yang bakal lolos ke EWC. Dan ya Tidi mendapatkan dari seorang PV di sana. Langsung saya dikonfirm. Bentar. Wait a minute. Tiba-tiba Vega udah 4 poin kill aja nih.
Iya. Karena tadi sempat dapetin beberapa elim juga. Tapi sekarang Alter Ego yang punya ciri khas mereka selalu dapetin kill-kill di early. Tapi gue masih nunggu placement win. Apakah mampu untuk mendapatkan Faven yang memang sudah tergelincir. Dan itu dia headshot. Didapatkan dengan MK12. Faven pun tidak akan selamat, tambahan poin untuk Alter Ego.
Yes, lumayan 1 poin lagi dikumpulkan oleh tim Alter Ego. Dan sisi lain juga MT juga mendapatkan lagi dari tim TRO, tapi di still kill oleh G.Skill. Sisi lain Vega kali ini melihat ada pergerakan. Tim-tim lain sudah mulai berotasi, tapi GZ display ke arah depan. Tim Newbie kali ini sudah terkenok 2 saja Unforgiven. Dan juga terlusen di sana, langsung saja terkenok 2 orang dari tim Newbie kali ini. 2 orang lagi di sebelah mana belum terlihat di sana dari tim Newbie. Kali ini 3 poin sudah dikumpulkan oleh tim Orglass. Bahkan tim Unlucky yang sudah dipulangkan saja di posisi ke-16. Memang tadi sisa sendirian gak sih?
Iya, nggak apa-apa, bagus.
Sulit.
Iya.
Ada kesempatan alter ego buat naik.
Emang unlucky ya, emang unlucky.
Unlucky.
Betul. Dan Savage Man Esports, tapi lagi ada beberapa pertanyaan nih.
Apa tuh?
Laptop yang harga 8 sampai 10 juta. Menurut gua perbedaannya lumayan jauh. PC 10 juta sama laptop 10 juta itu beda jauh banget. Ya bisa dibilang lu gak bakalan senyaman lu pakai PC.
Betul.
Laptop itu tetap kayak, menurut gua untuk main game laptop ya kurang nyaman, tapi sebelum itu asu dapetin satu pemain terhadap Anarchy. Satu knockdown yang baik tadi. Tentu memang terbuka sekali posisi dari para pemain tim Newbies. Ini beneran Newbies apa gimana ya? Tapi di peringkat 12, 23 poin, satu pemain saja sekarang dari tim Newbies sendirian. But Alek, temennya katak bijer.
Wah.
Masih menunggu di area batu. 3 elim sudah mereka dapatkan. Dan tapping-tapping akan dilakukan. Alek. Masih Alek. Alek. Bakalan kabur. Alek. Oke, berpindah ke 4 Alek. Dan itu dia. Beberapa tembakan dari Daski. Ini juga sama. Lakukan tapping-tapping dengan MK12-nya. Ini dia. Zona.
Waduh.
Akan mengecil kembali. Apakah ke arah alter ego? Atau ke bawah? Emang gak berpihak.
Wah, emang gak berpihak.
Emang musuh.
Udah, susah memang.
Dari kapan tahu alter ego tuh jadi musuhnya Zona. Namun sebelum itu Kamal dapetin Daski. Satu elim didapatkan. Namun sekarang Happy Squad setelah cikan real. Terbitlah Tusun bro.
Real itu ya.
Iya.
Karena memang di early tadi emang udah keculik 3 sih emang ya jujur susah. Asu kali ini bertemu dengan tim GSW di sana ke arah depan. Lagi-lagi ini penekanan. Gue tadi itu baca live chat agak gimana. Penekanan asik. Gitu, tapi Xavier di sini coba di-spray ke arah depan terhadap tim Tim Tera kali ini yang akan bertemu dengan tim X-Men atau Savage Man Esport. Kali ini Cimoy di sisi lain juga mendapatkan seorang MC di sana. Tera kali ini sudah mulai terpojok terhadap tim X-Men kali ini. Sudah mulai ada utility dilemparkan saja ke arah depan netnya. Lagi-lagi harus berhati-hati, splash damage juga sudah didapatkan oleh tim X-Men. Lagi-lagi sudah mulai bergerak dari circle-nya kali ini. Oh, ini agak sulit sekali memang. Di sana Lun mendapatkan seorang kunyit di sana, langsung menutup saja tim Tera. Harus puas di posisi ke-14. Memang posisinya agak sulit. Low ground dikejar zona itu agak sulit memang.
Yes, bukan agak lagi tapi sangat sulit tentunya tadi untuk Tera bertahan. Dan tentu ada bantuan juga tadi dilakukan oleh Ato. Dan sekarang satu tim Indonesia sudah dikirim ke lobby. But CJ Orklos memang lagi ngeri-ngerinya juga. Cukup konsisten tentunya. 4 elim sudah mereka dapatkan juga sama dengan Vega. Masing-masing pemain mendapatkan 1 kill. Entah itu Vega maupun dari Orklos. Crazy Dog harus tumbang. Meledakkan vehicle dari Armor dan membuat take. Bersama dengan Alter Ego mendapatkan tambahan poin. Lagi-lagi Alter Ego dapetin kayak minimal 5 tuh setiap match ada aja gitu. Konsisten untuk tim Alter Ego. Dan sekarang Nirvana, Turtle Key, NRG Gata XP Fate. Tapping depan sama tim Newbies juga udah masuk dirian. Kena mortar pula di tangan Uncle. Sini Paul. Dan betul aja hilang. Dan sebelum itu Imbot terknockdown juga di tangan Hanzi dengan snipernya. Dan gue udah jarang banget ngeliat ASR, entah itu M24 Kark dengan meta yang sekarang itu dipakai. Dan sekarang Zen Esports juga tumbang di phase keempat. Sudah ada beberapa tim yang tereliminasi. Dan Alek Tamxiao dari Zen ditumbang. Dan ini dia untuk zona kita. Alter Ego memang melewati beberapa pemain, beberapa tim, 2 compound sudah dilewati di tengah-tengah. Cuman jadinya kalau zona ini ada di tengah-tengahnya untuk Alter Ego emang bener-bener dihindari. Kayak iya alter ego, nggak males zona kok langsung ke bawah.
Bener-bener gak dipaksa buat ke arah alter ego gitu. Bener langsung kayak
zona tuh
gitu.
kayak jijik banget sama alter ego. Dari kapan tahu itu? Dari zamannya From the Future, isinya begitu. Selalu dihindari zona, nggak apa-apa. Ya, dari sekarang Gaps MV dapetin turtle key dengan satu knockdown dan juga nade lebih tepatnya. Pada ada balasan, Gamestar Twin juga mendekat ke arah energi dan itu dia. Ledakan membuat Xiaofeng dan juga Jing harus tumbang. Gaps V kembali mendapatkan kill dengan nade-nya juga Fate menumbangkan Xiaofeng. Siang lain show dari game Start Twin juga terknockdown oleh Badape dengan mini 14-nya Ato. Kali ini bermain cukup baik, membackup rekannya yang memang sedang rotasi. Satu vehicle dikendarai ke arah depan sana, tapi Gopspi membackup dari arah belakang. Ini good strat menurut gua. Mereka benar-benar terstruktur banget. Satu maju, dua pemainnya backup, beberapa pemainnya juga bisa buat ngambil alih. Dan sekarang Lolba akan coba untuk survive selama mungkin. Nice spray dari Lolba dan bersama dengan Bolang. Coba untuk menahan lagi beberapa tembakan yang akan dilakukan sekarang. Atau esports mulai masuk ke arah depan sana. Lolba masih ingin lebih. Satu pemain dari Sensin sudah low HP. Lolba akan mudah untuk mendapatkan Sensin. Dan itu dia, Atau esports mengeliminasi Sensin di hashtag 9. Tapi di siang lain, TD nabrak Rido. Loh, alter ego juga beberapa pemain yang harus tumbang. Vega kehilangan empty. Bolang mendapatkan Fate memang, tapi sekarang apa yang terjadi membuat Rido. Ada balasan dari Trick. Dengan satu buah nade, nyaris saja dan itu ya balasan. Aji putar knockdown. TDI memang sempat nabrak dan itu dia. Ada set singa juga. 3 tim Indonesia ini berjibaku. Vega, ada Alter Ego, ada Shadow Esports saling berjibaku. Third party yang memang tidak bisa dihindari. Alter Ego pun harus tumbang di SC ke-7. Tapi sekarang Imbot sendirian saja. Shadow Esports, Imbot akan coba untuk survive. Tapi sayangnya HP-nya Imbot hampir saja. Masih Imbot, Anggara Imbot 24. Damage yang masuk, damage akan ditambah lagi dengan satu buah nade ini. Dan Imbot mungkin bisa untuk mendapatkan clutch-nya. Nade tersebut memang connect. 57 damage tadi didapatkan oleh Imbot. Nade yang kedua mungkin akan selesai. Kita lihat dari seorang Imbot. Dan hati-hati ledakan granatnya. Nyaris saja. Spray lagi akan dilakukan. Terus smoke. Satu buah stun granat. Dan ternyata Imbot tidak bisa untuk melakukan clutch. Karena Hansi menghentikan langkah dari seorang Imbot.
Oh my god, Imbot hampir. Adi bisa clutch di sana. Tapi memang situasi kondisinya memang agak sulit bagi Imbot. Tipis memang dari segi smoke yang memang dipop up oleh satu orang dari tim Shadow Esports tadi. Nyaris memang Imbot bisa clutch, tapi di sisi lain CPT Sport dan Ortless juga masih ada 4 Mong juga 4 tim atau 4 orang yang masih bisa survive kali ini. Dan ini Savage juga mereka selalu bisa survive hingga ke phase 6 tuh. Aduh, gue gimana agak sulit juga berkata-kata. Tapi ada tim Indo di sini, ada tim Ato teman-teman. Hashtag Indo Pride teman-teman, ada tim Ato yang masih bisa survive dan juga ada tim Shadow Esports yang masih still survive. 5 tim tersisa. Kali ini di map Rondo di zona fase ke-6 kali ini. Masih mencari informasi Xavier. Ada pergerakan dari Orgus di sana, di tapping dengan menggunakan AUG-nya untuk mendelay. Dari sisi vehicle-nya di sana, Lun berspot saja di area lain. Harus berhati-hati kali ini. Tim Orgus, Mong juga sudah melihat pergerakan dari tim Orgus. Badape. Late game masih pakai motor sih. Gokil. Dan Asu kali ini sudah mulai kedatangan tamu oleh tim-tim lain di sini. Mong juga. Dan dari Orgles di sana. Kenapa tuh? Kok tiba-tiba?
Ritual pemanggil chicken mungkin dilakukan. Itu dia. MG3 digunakan oleh Setsuna. Mendapatkan Lun dari Savage Man Esports. Tapi sekarang kita akan fokus dulu di mana Nikos melakukan spray. Nikos bersebelahan memang. Itu dia nice spray terhadap Eya pun langsung tumbang. Bedape yang bisa untuk mendapatkan Eya dari Ortless. Tapi sekarang Xavier juga sendirian saja. Panzer sudah di tangan juga. Ada Blue Zonate yang masih belum sampai tadi. G3 Hansi juga menangkap Lun. Masih coba untuk dikunci oleh para pemain dari tim Shadow Esports. Dari Xavier menggunakan emergency cover flare. Menjadi satu buah backup. Dan coba untuk spray-spray lagi, nggak punya first aid, nggak punya bandage. Memang ada beberapa minuman tapi masih full juga. Dan tuh Savior kali ini kalau minum lagi kembung, bisa jadi. Masih ada efek minuman yang sudah ya minum.
Tiba-tiba
Ada efek ledakan apa yang terjadi gua nggak tahu. Tapi ya tumbang dengan ledakan mobil tadi. Top 4 ada 2 tim Indonesia. Ada Mong juga. Ada Orkless juga, ini salah satu tim yang menurut gue cukup konsisten, sangat konsisten bahkan. Berdape, melihat ke arah Ato yang sedang menggunakan beberapa vehicle. 4 pemain dari tim Ato harus mereka manfaatkan, tapi jalur rotasi mereka ini harus sedikit waspada. Memang ada di sekitar zona, namun kita lihat untuk next zone-nya apakah bisa untuk mengarah ke Ato atau Orkless. Ini yang punya satu rumah bakalan nyaman banget kalau memang zonanya ke sana. Dan ini dia zona kita.
Oke.
Ada broken wall yang... Iya, broken wall-nya masih oke.
Shadow Esport Ato masih oke.
Iya.
Ini menjadi kesempatan bagi Ato dan juga Shadow Esport untuk mencari kesempatan bagi tim Orkless dan juga Mong yang berotasi ke arah zona. Jujur, mungkin ini menjadi kesempatan besar teman-teman. Ayo semua di kolom live chat ramaikan hashtag IndoPride teman-teman.
IndoPride, IndoPride.
IndoPride teman-teman. Tim Shadow Esport dan juga Alto Esport yang masih standby di top 4 kali ini.
Iya, dan Observer mau ke arah Mong aja ngelewatin rumah yang
Rumah
ada
dulu.
APD-nya.
Jujur keren.
Marketing lu, Observer marketing lu biar kepake lagi kan. Gue tahu, gue tahu. Ih, spotlight. Keren. Karena ada beberapa tadi kesalahan ditutup sama drone ke rumah dari PUBG ulang tahun itu. Gak apa-apa. Good. Kita fokus lagi di mana Ato kedatangan tamu. Yaitu dari Mong. Di arah kanan dari Ato. Gops, Avi, 7 elim sudah dapatkan. Masih ada Lolba, Bolang, Gops dan juga Kia. Wes. Namanya Kia.
Iya, makanya gue gak komen tuh Re, masalah gitu Re.
Oke, masih coba untuk menahan dan beberapa emergency cover flare sudah di call. Sudah ada beberapa gangguan. Oh, Unch dapetin Kia. Dan dari sisi yang lain kanan, Unch juga dapetin Ku Asu. Dapatkan kill dengan Nate terhadap Gox MV. Ini menjadi berbahaya tentunya. Lolba bersama dengan Bolang lebih tepatnya. Lolba dapetin 1. Mad Dog juga harus tumbang. Ada bala bantuan juga dari Orkless kali ini. 2 pemain dari tim Ato harus coba untuk bertahan hidup selama mungkin. Nice spray itu low HP. Nyaris saja. Namun Nikos juga harus terknockdown di tangan Bolang. Dan kali ini memang agak sulit untuk melakukan misi penyelamatan di posisi di mana 2 versus everybody. Mong juga hanya ada 1 pemain saja. Kali ini Bolang masih Bolang mengambil ke arah kanan dan Setsuna membantu juga. Mong juga harus membantu satu pemain dan akan selesai. Mong di hashtag keempat karena ada bantuan dari Setsuna maupun dari Mad Dog dan Ato masih bisa hidup.
Ato masih bisa survive atas bantuan dari seorang Setsuna tadi dan juga 1 orang dari tim Orkless tadi. Dari seorang siapa tadi? Oh iya, dari seorang Mad Dog.
Iya.
Itu gila banget sih karena emang ada bantuan dari 2 tim ini menjadi kesempatan bagi Ato untuk chance lebih besar sekali. Walaupun memang 2 versus 3 kali ini tim Orkless, Shadow Esport dan juga Ato. Dan ini jaraknya cukup jauh.
Ini 2 tim Indo lawan 1 Filipina.
Ayo 2 tim Indo lawan 1 tim.
Anggap 5 lawan 3. Enggak juga sih, enggak juga. Enggak bisa begitu.
Cuman ketahuan ya.
Iya, Orkless gue akuin aimnya tajam banget. Jadi gue nggak bisa analisis ini tim Indo bisa dapetin chicken walaupun persentasenya jadi kan lebih besar gitu karena ada 2 tim Indonesia, tapi tetap aja Orkless yang mainnya lagi konsisten banget ini punya kesempatan yang besar.
Yes, karena Orkless di sini udah 86 poin, udah deket banget sama tim Vega. Seharusnya memang mereka konsis banget, udah 8 poin bahkan sudah dikantongi oleh mereka. Setsuna kali ini masih mencari pergerakan dengan tim-tim lain. Atau juga sudah mulai terspot di sana. Di sisi lain sudah mendapatkan 1 tapping ke arah depan. Tapi Orkless juga ini mereka untuk maju ke depan dapat 1 gundukan tuh. Ini gundukan terakhir mereka.
Iya.
Kalau mereka maju dikit ke depan aja itu nggak bakal ada coveran lagi. Cuman ada 1 batang pohon di sana.
Iya, tapi posisi dari Orkless mereka punya lower ground yang enak banget. Menurut gue kesempatan dari Orclass jadi lebih gede.
Yes.
Karena kalau zonanya ada di tengah-tengah antara 3 tim ini udah kayak segitiga kan.
Iya.
Ujungnya tuh ada di Orclass. Ini kalau sampai zonanya di antara 3 tim ini, mungkin Orclass jadi salah satu tim yang punya keuntungan dengan satu cover lower ground. Sedangkan 2 tim lainnya ini bisa kelihatan banget sama Orclass. Jadi cukup berbahaya. Oke, Lolba, mode imbot. Apakah mampu? Oh sorry, pakai panzer bukan mortar.
Bukan.
Ada beberapa nade, hati-hati ledakannya. Dan sudah ada 3 granat dikeluarkan. Hati-hati 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Banyak sekali granat. Bolang juga mendapatkan Alek itu dia. Alek yang berhasil ditumbangkan lebih dulu. Dan kali ini kesempatan lebih besar untuk para pemain dari tim Indonesia. Untuk membasmi, menumbangkan para pemain dari tim Orclass juga. Namun Mad Dog dengan karnya hati-hati juga. 1 hit tadi mungkin. Dan masih coba untuk bertahan. CJ akan menghidupkan rekannya itu Alek. Berpindah tepat, sakit lagi 62 dan langsung di-spray dengan AUG kali 3 Setsuna harus tumbang. Dan bahkan Setsuna pun hilang. 10 kill untuk Ato. Awal yang baik tentunya. 2 tim Indonesia mendapatkan killing spree Shadow Esports maupun dari tim Ato. Masih ingin lebih. Orclass masih enak banget posisinya. Mereka masih punya lower ground. Dan ini dia mulai bergerak di pinggiran zona. Pemain-pemain dari tim Ato maupun dari tim Shadow Esports. Lagi Gen 6 breakdown dilakukan. Hansi memang tumbang. CJ mendapatkan bolang. Ini menjadi kesempatan untuk Orclass 3 lawan 2. Spray lagi dilakukan kembali. 2 pemain ini akan sangat sulit sekali untuk bertahan. 1 pemain saja Gops MV yang mungkin akan hilang. Dan Orclass menumbangkan pemain-pemain dari tim Indonesia. Dan berhasil mendapatkan winner chicken dinner. Topeng otot gua akuin. Siap. Dengan ini mereka dapetin 93 poin, masih di bawah dari tim Vega. Dan itu dia untuk match ke-8, setelah ini akan ada match 9 juga. So pastikan kalian jangan kemana-mana, tetap di PUBG Master Series 2026. Oke, ini dia untuk match ke-9 ya. Hari kedua di Miramar, teman-teman semua. Cukup cepat sekali. Jadi rehat dulu sejenak, minum, nyantai. Dan kita akan melihat Miramar apakah tim Indonesia punya setidaknya kesempatan dan juga apa ya, bisa dibilang main bagus di Miramar tuh ya jarang banget untuk tim Indonesia.
Ya siapa tahu ada track record bagus lah.
Betul, gitu. Ada perubahan lah sedikit. Itu, jadi yang biasanya peringkat ke-8 bawah itu sekarang ada di top 8 lah minimal.
Bisa naikin chance nih kalau misal bosannya tim Indo tuh udah improve gitu kan. Sudah improve di map Miramar, apalagi memang map Miramar nih kan map kedua dari PUBG ya, harusnya mereka bisa tahu, walaupun memang ada beberapa medan yang udah dirubah sih obstacle-nya, tapi at least udah dari segi jalur rotasi dan lain-lain harusnya mereka sudah paham medan dan lain-lain. Dan ini dia untuk jalur flight path-nya di arah sebelah kanan menuju ke arah Valdemar dan juga Brick ya. Gua langsung saja San Martin.
Lu San Martin?
Yes.
Gua San Martin tuh di mana sih, kanan? Tengah ya? Di Shadow ya?
Di Shadow.
Iya, di atas sorry.
Ini nih.
Di dekat HDP ya.
Yes.
Dari tim Vega diturun di sana. Gua AE. Cuma Cera
ya?
Iya.
Wah.
Soalnya emang jarang ketemu sama Zona, cuman sekarang Partona ke bawah. Ini oke nih, 30%-an air. Ngeri Bang Rere mainannya udah apak. Gue udah internasional, PGS, PGC, gak diapak doang, gila. Waduh. Gila, langsung dikasih paham. Sorry ya teman-teman ya, sorry Bang Ardi, sorry. WWCD tim Mad Dog dengan rambutnya yang real, bukan pakai paint ya, bukan. Kelihatannya pakai paint. Tapi emang gue suka stylenya sih dari Mad Dog. Tapi memang dari tadi gue perhatiin dari Mad Dog di late game pakai car. Terus satu tapping, sisanya dia langsung ganti senjata. Itu kayak spray.
Itu jujur, itu stimulannya jalan banget sih. Otaknya jalan.
Iya.
Gitu.
Karena kan kalau di late game face-nya udah pada pecah, helmnya udah pada pecah. Jadi ya udah enak tuh pakai car di late game. Itu dia. Dan sekarang Orclus, ini dia tim yang baru saja mendapatkan winner chicken dinner. Apakah akan ada setelah chicken terbit Latution? Ya.
Belum tahu juga ya. Masih belum. Karena mereka masih di area dekat Alcantara di sini. Ini cukup jauh juga sih. Dia ngambil drop zone-nya cukup jauh di Alcantara. Tapi di sisi lain tim Happy Monty kali ini. Ini dari tadi observernya bagus sih. Ini view kayak gini gokil.
Ini view drone-nya gokil. Jadi
walaupun agak cukup pusing ya.
Betul.
Kalau pakai vehicle.
POV-nya emang enak. Tapi kan dulu sempat ada drone ya di mode normal lah. Kenapa dilarang ya sekarang ya?
Nah, nggak tahu tuh.
Bukan dilarang, kenapa nggak ada lagi ya? Harusnya dijadiin meta gitu, seru ya. Meta drone dipakai buat cari info. Bukan dilarang sorry, tapi belum meta mungkin ya. Nextnya mungkin bisa. Karena kan C4 juga udah meta sekarang. Tapi kita jarang banget yang ini ya, ngelihat mobil dipakein C4 terus langsung dikirim gitu.
Itu belum ada nih.
Kemarin sempet ada kalau nggak salah, cuman nggak sering kayak di tahun lalu tuh, kayak lumayan sering banget. Karena memang jadi hal konyol kalau misalnya lu jadi tumbal proyek gitu.
Tumbal proyek. Tapi emang ada momen dimana kalau pakai C4 dan dia lagi fokus ke arah depan, tiba-tiba dari belakang ngirim C4 tuh kayak, wah itu momennya kayak dapat banget sih Re. Kayak di waktu pas kemarin PGC juga ada kayak gitu. PGC apa PGS gitu gue lupa. Itu ada tuh momen dia lagi fokus ke depan, tiba-tiba mobil datang, dar, semua langsung rata. Gitu.
Bang Ardi ini kan moderator di PUBG ID ya, sekarang nggak moderator lagi Bang Ardi. Mohon maaf ya Bang Ardi, kita pindah dulu ke sini. Sekarang Bang Ardi belum jadi moderator lagi, nanti dimintain deh sama gue ya. Coba ya, kita butuh beberapa moderator lagi sih memang. Tapi man of the match dari match kita kali ini itu ada sebelum CJ dengan 5 kill 560 dengan 31 menit survive time. Itu mungkin kurang efektif. Iya, yang masalah drone. Terus mortar, terus panzer sekarang udah meta. C4 kan di nerf radiusnya bener. Jadi nggak terlalu efektif di tahun ini. Cuman kenapa drone kurang efektif? Mungkin karena banyaknya pegunungan. Jadi dilarang gitu.
Mungkin ya.
Iya, kan ngedrone di area pegunungan tertentu emang tidak diperbolehkan gitu. Harus bayar.
Udah gue nggak ngomong. Maksud gue udah di depan mulut nih kayak aduh gitu loh. Dia ke situ arahnya. Memang suruh bayar sih teman-teman ya. Nggak tahu kenapa walaupun memang cuma 1 menit.
Kadang ditutup seminggu nih.
Iya, aduh. Tapi di sini coba kita lihat dari tim atau e-sport. Melihat pergerakan dari tim Unlucky kali ini. Gops coba display karena depan. Sani terspot di sana saja dari tim Unlucky. Dikejar sepertinya oleh tim atau e-sport kali ini. Langsung saja mencari another angle. Sepertinya dari seorang Gops di sini mendekat ke arah depan. Karena depan belum mendapatkan damage. Karena memang sulit sekali dari segi jarak. Dibalas. Dari sisi lain Unlucky di sana. Gops harus berhati-hati di sini. Mobilnya bisa saja bannya meledak. Tapi atau yang lain di sana sudah mulai bergerak juga dari seorang Lolba mencari another angle.
Ya.
Seharusnya ini menjadi kesempatan bagi tim Ato untuk mencari resource juga sih. Karena ini masih early game jadi santai aja bagi tim Ato. Dan gue sangat appreciate mereka bisa sustain dan naik untuk ke peringkat ke-10 kali ini.
Iya, tapi sebelum itu welcome Coach Hexagon. Datang ada coach. Ada itu Cahaya. Cahaya Gusti, halo Coach.
Bang.
Emang di sini semuanya lagi di riset nggak jadi moderator.
Iya. Coach, apa kabar Coach?
Baik. VG Malai Bang, walaupun ada Bang Teddy dan juga Imbot, iya. Karena 3 pemainnya Malai, 2-nya Indonesia. Jadi masuknya ke region Malaysia teman-teman. Tapi sebelum itu Zansins. Karena ada peperangan di ini nampaknya. Jump shot tadi. Turtle Key. Dapetin RZ dan bakal dieliminasi. Tapi pemain-pemain Zansin lainnya. Kabur karena 2 pemain. Coba untuk tidak terlalu melakukan fight. Mengingat cuma 1 pemain saja. Tapi Crazy Dog. Terus ngelock posisi dari pemain yang tadi kabur. Di siang lain. Peperangan terjadi. 2 tim Indonesia. Atau lebih tepatnya memang Vega, tim asal Malaysia. Tapi ada 2 pemain Indonesia berjibaku Shadow Esports bersama dengan Vega Esports. Lemparkan 1 buah utility. Ini dia di tempat yang sama. Di bawah dari Graveyard. Masih Setsuna empty. Udah di lock posisinya. 1v2. Kali ini empty mungkin akan di-spray itu dia. M249 dipredel oleh Hansi. Empty pun tak selamat. Kali ini posisi dari para pemain Vega ini tidak diuntungkan menurut gua. Karena banyak sekali setup utility yang dilakukan oleh Shadow Esports. Kamal Uset sudah. Memang tumbang TDI. Dan ada balasan Imbot pun tidak selamat karena terbakar juga oleh Hansi. EJ dapetin Jaxi, pertukaran kill terjadi. Memang kali ini 2v2. Vega dan juga Shadow Esports. Kesempatan menjadi 50-50 antara Shadow Esports dan juga Vega Esports. Mulai datang Kamal juga. Memang cukup terlambat tapi masih ada kesempatan. TD masih melihat. Itu dia. TD kelihatan itu. TD kelihatan. TD spray down M249 dari Hansi. Kembali mendapatkan korban. 1 pemain lagi. AJ. Apakah mampu melawan 2 pemain ini melakukan clutch? Masih 1v2. Kamal lemparkan 1 menit. Dan ternyata Vega Esports yang menjadi tim pertama yang harus pulang ke arah lobby di hashtag 16.
Oh my god, memang sulit sekali bagi tim Vega Esports. Dari segi posisi emang sulit. Karena kompon seperti ini sangat menjadi buang bulanan bagi apalagi utility yang dipegang oleh tim Shadow Esports itu sangat cukup banyak. Juga untuk memberikan pressure terhadap tim Vega dan terbukti memang bredelannya jujur. Dapat 2 dari tim Vega itu langsung saja ditumbangkan. Dan memang di puncak klasemen tapi mereka tidak mendapatkan momentum untuk di hashtag di paling atas atau di stick paling bawah kali ini.
Betul.
Ya
Cuman
walaupun ya mau gimana lagi.
Tapi abis ini emang breaknya panjang sih. Kayaknya mau rehat.
Rehat.
Lumayan kurang lebih berarti hampir sejam, 40 sampai 50 menit. Kalau lu tusunnya di menit 10, sisa matchnya kan 20 menit lagi, terus break 10 menit. Ya 30 menit, setengah jam. Lumayan buat TD makan ya. TD dan kawan-kawan. Kok nyari alasan. Oke, ini dia untuk phase kita yang kedua. Sudah muncul tentunya teman-teman semua. Ini dia dari tim Unlucky, 5 kill, 1224 dari seorang Goni. Tapi sekarang Orca Terra Bombay. Masih dengan Hafiz, Kunyit bersama dengan Dips. Posisi mereka masih cukup aman. Namun terpantau bagaimana pemain-pemain dari tim Indonesia sendiri. Ini. Semua map kita ada namanya recall teman-teman. Itu dia generator. Lu bawa blue chipnya, dikirim ke ditaruh di situ di generatornya. Terus lu bisa menghidupkan teman-teman yang sudah tumbang. Sampai menit 20-an pokoknya nanti ditutup tuh blue chipnya. Itu ya adik-adik ya.
Ada batasannya.
Ada batasannya. Dan akan ada pencegalan nampaknya Hansi masih selamat. Armor Esports suspect. Dia nggak ada pemain yang tumbang tapi kayak rotasi ke arah Minas emang jalurnya mungkin. Kita positive thinking emang bukan maksud menjegal pemain yang mencoba untuk recall. Enggak. Emang jalur rotasinya yang mirip. Dan sekarang pemain-pemain dari tim GameStar Twin, Xiaofeng akan mencoba untuk mengambil posisi yang lebih aman lagi. Ini dia, Xiaofeng, Sinosou, dan Jujing. Savage Man Esports juga ada Savio Rapchen, Zams bersama dengan Lun. Dan itu dia Ultimate Bots happy tereliminasi.
Wah, ini untuk beberapa tim sudah mulai ada peperangan juga walaupun memang diculik satu persatu. Dan ini ada yang nanya nih Re, katanya di turnamen juga dari call. Mungkin regulasinya teman-teman ya. Jadi regulasi dari kemarin dari PGC juga.
Iya.
Dari PGS kemarin udah boleh diperbolehkan sih.
Iya.
Namanya recall karena ada batasan waktu.
Betul.
Karena kalau udah di atas waktu itu udah nggak bisa recall tuh teman-teman.
Betul, udah ditutup aksesnya.
Gitu.
Jadi kayak lu punya meta, main fight di awal, dar-der-dor, walaupun ini keuntungan buat TD lah intinya. TD kan sering mati duluan gitu, ngeras, terus balucip diambil, nah bisa hidup lagi. Itu keuntungan buat tim-tim yang memang main agresif di awal teman-teman. Dia lagi kena, padahal dia udah jadi ranger merah, kena lagi. Sorry ya TD ya. Yeah.
Gue lagi aja yang kena kalau kata TD, gue lagi nih bang, kata dia. Bang gue lagi nih, kata dia. Oke deh.
Soalnya dia lagi nonton nih. Tadi kan udah knock tuh, udah hilang, udah dikirim ke lobby. Ini saya nonton sambil evaluasi kan.
Kata dia, ya udahlah mau gimana lagi. Waduh, Bang Cahaya ketawanya puas banget. Kena lagi Teddy gitu. Iya, mau gimana lagi? Selalu kena.
Soalnya kemarin hari pertama tuh ada gerakan yang gue sempet super sebel banget gue sama Teddy. Kayak terlalu pede, iya bagus, lu tajem, cuman gak gitu di turnamen PMS gak gitu. Pokoknya ada kemarin di map kedua apa map pertama gitu ya. Gerakannya sih, why, tapi gak apa-apa.
It's okay, but ya ini turnamen yang mungkin dia juga menunjukkan uji skill.
Iya.
Uji skill juga dari Teddy, tapi but it's okay. Dan juga kita bisa lihat dari beberapa tim sudah mulai berotasi dan Alter Ego juga, lagi kenapa? Zona yang selalu didekati oleh Alter Ego selalu mental ke arah depan dari Alter Ego. Selalu memaksa mereka untuk maju ke depan.
Intinya menghindari Alter Ego. Zona itu menghindari Alter Ego. Walaupun di awal tadi mereka udah dapetin zona, tapi setelah phase yang ketiga mereka mulai dihindari lagi. Tapi Mong dapetin beberapa damage, hampir saja mendapatkan knockdown karena sudah low. Ang masih mencoba untuk melakukan spray, tapi tidak ada korban nampaknya. Dan sekarang, dan tentu pemain dari tim Mong akan mengambil jalur rotasi. Dimana ada Unlucky juga di sebelah kanan dia. Dan tentu main dari tim Zen. Sunny Zen up. Satu pemain Jaxi menangkap CJ. Headshot bahkan dengan AUG-nya. Tentu akan coba untuk diselesaikan CJ. Dan udah pecah bannya dari seorang Mad Dog. Ke arah jembatan. Jalannya pelan tapi untungnya masih aman. Tentu dari seorang Mad Dog. Dan sudah melewati jembatan, tapi di depan sana juga ada salah satu tim yang mungkin bisa untuk menumbangkan. Itu dari seorang Sins, dari Sins. Namun sepertinya masih belum bisa untuk mendapatkan knockdown. Walaupun, terlalu gila sih. Kalau kena sih, ini sih selevel sama Srot. Enggak kayaknya, masih belum. Sinch masih cukup santai di phase yang ketiga sedang mengecil. Sembari kita lihat statistik dari Zensins. 9 kill dari RZ. Dan Zensins Sly Fox masih ingin terus menghentikan langkah jalur rotasi dari tim Orkless yang mencoba sedang menaiki bukit turun lagi karena mobilnya nggak kuat, terguling sedikit. It's okay. Niatnya menghampiri rekannya yang sudah di atas sana tapi jalannya begitu lambat. Sly Fox masih dengan karnya. Kalau DMR sih lebih enak ya. Nggak apa-apa.
Cuma tadi tuh sempet dari seorang Sly Fox itu dapat dimis tuh dengan menggunakan karnya, tapi itu agak sulit juga sih memang. Lagi-lagi dan lagi memang ini SR itu agak sulit sih kalau misalkan memang dari segi positionnya si tim sedang rotasi coba di tap dengan menggunakan SR itu chance-nya kecil sekali. Dan dari seorang Sings di sini, dari tim Zensin dan juga tim newbie kali ini, tim India kali ini Anarsi, Unforgiven, Translucent dan juga Snip Pow. Dengan rata-rata dari Anarsi malah yang damage dealnya cukup tinggi, 1400 damage yang sudah didapatkan. Dan zonanya kali lagi mendonat arah middle kali ini, tapi memaksa untuk tim Shadow Esport yang harus bergerak. Wah, ini agak sulit memang Shadow Esport. Mereka menunggu zona split atau zona yang melihat ke arah lain.
Ya.
Itu kayaknya Shadow Esport agak sulit untuk masuk ke area yang sudah dekat dengan jembatan kali ini.
Ya, betul saja. Baru aja dibahas, Jexi sudah ter-knockdown. Apa yang terjadi di sana? Tapi seenggaknya Cimoy dapetin kill. Still terhadap Jexi. Unforgiven dari Unlucky dan juga tim Newbies berjibaku. Misalkan satu pemain saja. Unlucky. Sepertinya masih ada 2 pemain. Sun Grenade keluarkan. Satu buah nade juga akan dikeluarkan. Tadi sempat lakukan spray. Tapi sayangnya harus tumbang di tangan Faven. Tim Newbies harus puas di hashtag 15. Dan kita balik lagi bahas sedikit tadi. Alter Ego jalur rotasinya dari arah barat. Ini agak sulit. Bisa gue bilang. Kalaupun mereka sampai ke arah zona. Tapi sebelum itu, Panzer Turtle, gak mati. Dan Turtle akan coba untuk diras. Sempat untuk mendapatkan satu pemain Ato sekarang harus bertahan Ato pemain-pemainnya, shot off di jarak tersebut, headshot bisa ia dapatkan. Beberapa pemain lainnya dari NRG juga akan coba untuk membackup. Damage-nya masuk lumayan, berasa sekali. Sekarang Ato dengan 2 pemainnya yang masih aktif. Tapi bola gerakan yang memang dibaca tadi. Ato Esports tidak butuh waktu lama. Berhasil dieliminasi oleh NRG.
Oh my god, cepat sekali NRG. Mana tak ada tim Ato kali ini, tapi dari Orgless. Melihat pergerakan dari tim Shadow Esports kali ini. Yang sudah mulai rotasi terculik kelas 1. 3 orang tersisa dari Shadow Esports. Mau tidak mau mereka bergerak menuju ke dalam white circle. Walaupun memang Orgless kali ini memang ini tim, gue jujur, ini mereka stabil banget, sustain banget. Dari segi positionnya juga mereka enak. Dari beberapa tim juga Alter Ego juga belum terlihat mereka di arah mana. Dan di depan dari tim Orgless ada tim Terra yang harusnya kemungkinan akan bertemu di zona fase selanjutnya. Dari beberapa tim juga sudah mulai masuk ke dalam white circle. Dan zona juga sudah mulai bergerak. Cimoy melihat pergerakan ada tim GSW atau Game Start Win di sini yang menjadi target selanjutnya bagi tim Alter Ego. Molotov juga sudah mulai di pop up ke arah depan. Masih mencari kesempatan untuk tim Game Start Win ataukah tim Alter Ego yang mendapatkan satu knock terlebih dulu. Tapi di sisi lain Trick dan juga Queen di arah yang cukup jauh di sana melihat pergerakan dari tim Zen. Tapping saja ke arah depan. Tim GSW juga harusnya menyadari bahwasannya ada tim Alter Ego di situ. Ada satu tim yang dekat dengan mereka.
Zonanya nih.
Harusnya zonanya
jauh lagi nih.
Coba.
GG ini zona enggak dikit. Ada Cimoy di sana.
Masih masih bisa. Masih bisa kesempatan untuk dapat place di sana karena
Iya.
RDK ini bener-bener
Jauh. Karena nih
Jauh.
posisinya emang menurut gua strateginya dari tim Alter Ego emang pakai strategi MBG.
apa tuh?
Mencoba bermain gambling. Jadi
Oke.
mereka ngambil beberapa tempat. Kalau zonanya memang ada di sana kita samperin.
Yes.
Gitu teman-teman.
Metode MBG.
Iya.
Is real. Dia yang buka topik, dia yang panik loh. Aduh, Birit mana ada? Namanya tadi Queen. Itu splitnya jauh, jujur jauh. Tapi itu mungkin strategi dari Alter Ego ya.
Iya.
Kita masih belum tahu juga, tapi dari Nirvana kali ini sudah mulai rotasi menuju ke dalam Winner Circle. Dari tim Nirvana Rebirth Soldier Gaming atau Energy kita singkatnya. Crazy Dog melihat pergerakan dari tim All tadi display ke arah depan Crazy Dog. Mad Dog. Crazy Dog. Mendapatkan seorang Mad Dog ke arah depan, tapi Setsuna. Kali ini dari arah belakang menjadi bulan-bulanan. Tim NRG. Slot off-nya belum connect. Deep, tipis banget. HP tersisa dari seorang God kali ini. Setsuna menutup saja, memulangkan dari tim NRG. Di posisi ke-12 kali ini masih bisa selamat dengan 3 orangnya.
8 elim Setsuna dengan senjata geli-geli itu dia MP5K di jarak dekat. Punya keuntungan yang sangat besar dan akan mencoba untuk menghidupkan rekan-rekannya. Shadow Esports nyayur bro. Kamal sudah hidup dan Hanzi akan coba untuk di-revive setelah pertempuran yang panjang tadi terjadi untuk para pemain dari tim atau dan kita akan fokus lagi di mana pemain-pemain dari tim Tera. Oke, dapetin beberapa pemain tapi Tera ini dari tadi gue ngelihat kayaknya mereka ada di sekitar zona yang enak. Ini posisi dari tim Tera lumayan enak. Dan sekarang nampaknya dari Mong masih mencoba untuk bertahan dan akan menghidupkan rekannya di atas sana. Tentu ini akan menjadi berbahaya karena lower groundnya kalau di glosorin sama granat ini bisa aja tumbang bersama-sama. Dan Asu akan mengambil satu buah vehicle. Bergerak Mong nampaknya. Memilih untuk bergerak. Melaju ke arah depan sana melakukan push dari Am dengan satu buah nade akan dilontarkan. Cherry tidak akan selamat, terbakar memang. Namun masih ada satu pemain dari Armor pun tumbang dengan granat dari seorang
Asu kali ini memang nade-nya langsung connect terhadap tim dari Armor tadi ya, yang langsung diratakan saja. Dan zonanya kali ini zona fase ke-6. Kita lihat teman-teman ke arah manakah selanjutnya dari zona kali ini dan masih cukup mendadak sedikit ke arah atas.
Tera lumayan masuk.
Tera masih masuk. Alter Ego juga kemungkinan masih bisa masuk karena ada tim GSW yang ada menunggu di dalam satu kompon game start win yang menunggu, tapi di sisi lain Capchen mendapatkan dari seorang Oraculus di sana. Alek kali ini mencari informasi dari tim Zenshin. Sudah mulai ada peperangan. Melihat pergerakan di arah depan Orglass juga sudah menutup vision dari arah belakang karena Shadow Esports yang sudah akan ke arah depan. Dekat dengan tim Orglass kali ini. Harusnya dari tim Shadow Esports ini menjadi kesempatan mereka ada di area high ground, up ground yang cukup bisa dikontrol dari tim Orglass dan juga tim Zenshin kali ini.
Yes, dan sekarang tentu pemain-pemain dari tim Orglass akan mencoba untuk menahan lagi. Shadow Esports berdekatan dengan tim yang memang sedang on season, tapi di arah belakang sana Akosire menangkap mana memang sudah kehilangan beberapa pemain dari Orglass sehingga sangat sulit sekali untuk bertahan hidup Alek sendirian. MT9 digunakan untuk menutup vision dengan beberapa smoke yang digunakan. Panzer Force juga sudah ready untuk siap diluncurkan sebagai peledak instan, tapi tidak sempat keluar karena Setsuna datang dari arah bawah dan menumbangkan Alek menjadi pemain terakhir yang harus tumbang juga dari Orglass dan harus puas di hashtag 10. Kita lihat Kunyit dapetin satu. Stay down dilakukan Akosire. Scar L masih di tangan tapi cukup sakit tentunya penggunaan dari Scar dari seorang Akosire. Setsuna juga shot off di jarak seperti ini tidak akan bisa. Sly Fox sendirian saja. Shadow Esports harus hilang di tangan Zenshin, tapi Tera, pemain-pemain ini cukup nyaman di tempat tersebut. Masih di area zona. Beberapa kill sudah didapatkan juga. Unlucky di hashtag 8. 7 tim sekarang tersisa. Savage, Man Esports, Sams, Upchen. Ada di sekitar zona juga. Ini zonanya bisa banting ke atas ataupun banting ke bawah.
Harusnya bisa karena zona fase terakhir atau zona 7 dan 8 masih belum bisa terpop up. Kita masih menunggu juga. Waktu masih berjalan. Zenswan kali ini akan coba nade-nya ke arah depan. Dan ada Timong yang sudah menunggu di sana. Harus berhati-hati karena sudah mau terjebak juga di dalam area yang cukup tidak menguntungkan bagi Timong kali ini. Zen dan juga tim X-Men di sana. Oh, tipis sekali. HP yang sudah tersisa dan Asu di sana didapatkan saja oleh nade yang dari arah manapun yang sudah ditunggu di sana, dan nade-nya datang kembali dari arah sisi kanan, sisi kiri, sisi belakang juga sudah mulai didapatkan saja. Timong terjebak ini sulit banget dan Molotovnya juga meledakkan vehicle yang sudah dekat dengan mereka. Tim Zen di sini datang untuk menyelamatkan dari seorang Kens di sini. Harus berhati-hati. Timong juga tersisa 1 orang, harusnya masih bisa lebih sustain lagi. Oh, nade. Blue Zone nade juga sudah mulai dipop up ke arah depan. Mong lagi-lagi Nikos di sana terkenok saja. Asu di sini masih bisa survive. Still survive di dalam satu smoke yang menutup dia. Nade-nya oh my god. Masih bisa survive Asu kali ini. Dan ada mobil yang meledak juga. Belum bisa menumbangkan dari seorang Asu kali ini. Zen, ini menjadi poin terpenting Zen itu di area upground. Mereka bisa memanfaatkan itu.
Yes. Sendirian saja tentunya dari seorang Asu. Tapi tadi di sisi kill feed juga pemain-pemain alter ego. Hanya ada 1 pemain saja akan di-push. Asu di-push, Asu di-push, Asu sendirian. Asu bertahan, Asu dapetin kill. Asu sudah low dan Asu hilang di tangan Seksuan. Mong tereliminasi juga di hashtag ke-7 teman-teman. Trik. Kita masih melihat peperangan antara Game Start Twin dan juga Alter Ego karena memang mereka berdekatan sekali tadi. Namun tidak terlihat oleh Observer, nggak apa-apa karena ini lebih benar-benar menarik untuk kita saksikan. Dan Rika juga tumbang, namun sekarang dari Zen, Savage Man Esports akan melakukan push juga terhadap pemain-pemain dari tim Zen. Namun terus melakukan push, 5 kill sudah didapatkan oleh Lun. Alter Ego juga harus tumbang di hashtag ke-5. But it's okay, tambahan kill untuk Alter Ego 4 poin ditambah dengan hashtag ke-5 itu 4 poin juga. 10. Ya, 3 poin. 3 poin. Dan top 4, Tera masih dengan 4 pemainnya.
Yes, ini adalah tim Indo. Indonesia yang masih standby 4 orang di late game kali ini. Walaupun memang tadi gue mau sebut 4 tim tersisa, walaupun memang tadi Zen sudah tertumbangkan juga oleh tim Savage Man Esports atau X-Men. Kali ini Upchen dan juga Lulun tersisa. Dan GSW tersisa 1 orang. Ini kemungkinan chance-nya besar sekali bagi tim
Tera.
Orca Tera bisa mendapatkan winner chicken dinner. Ayo untuk di kolom live chat ramekan untuk hashtag IndoPride teman-teman. Untuk mendukung tim Tera. Bisa mendapatkan WWCD kali ini untuk menggembus poin mereka dari 30. Mungkin bisa merangsang naik ke posisi ke-9 atau 8.
Ya, lumayan banget ketika lu dapetin WWCD 10 poin. Ditambah kill yang sudah didapatkan oleh mereka sejauh ini baru 5. Oh, dari Savage Man itu 8, 2. Tapi posisinya ada 1 pemain. Hafiz ada di sekitar X-Men. Ataupun Savage Man ada di seberang dari Tera juga, dari Orca Tera. Jadi ini masih punya kesempatan. Tapi tetap aja 4 pemain harusnya mereka bisa manfaatkan ini. Dan tentu dari tim Orca Tera menunggu zona berikutnya.
Yes, ini tinggal hanya menunggu waktu teman-teman. Dari tim Game Start Win juga sisa sendirian di area atas. Savage Man juga di sini masih di area low ground. Ini tinggal menunggu waktu untuk mereka naik ke area yang cukup tidak diuntungkan bagi mereka karena zona fase 8 ini menutup untuk zona terakhir. Area yang sudah di cover oleh tim Z, tim Tera sudah didapat juga. Split ke arah 1 di arah kanan, kiri 3 itu harusnya menjadi keuntungan bagi mereka. Lulun tapi Crozanya sih ini kalau sampai menculik 1 demi 1 dari tim Tera ini sangat berbahaya. Karena tim Tera mereka sangat tidak diuntungkan karena masih di area atas situ dan masih bisa terlihat oleh seorang Jing.
Iya. Ini The Game Start Win yang sebelumnya mengeliminasi para pemain dari tim Alter Ego. Namun ada beberapa tembakan terus smoke dari Tera mulai turun dan Jing sudah diketahui posisinya dari Savage Man yang akan menyelesaikan Jing. di hashtag ketiga. Dua tim sekarang tersisa. Peringkat 13 dan juga peringkat 14 sama-sama 31 poin, 5 kill dan juga 9 kill. Kesempatan untuk tim Tera tentunya sangat besar. Dengan 4 melawan 2. Eksekusi sudah mulai dilakukan tapi dari tim Tera agak terbuka posisinya. Di pinggir jalan pula, di tengah jalan mulai bergerak zona. Memang sudah mengecil. Dari tim Tera sudah ada di center zone. Upchain, ada lower ground dan akan dimanfaatkan. Gerakan apa ini? 1 kill, 2 kill. Ini jadi bahaya tentunya dari tim Tera. Orca Tera gerakan apa ini? Ini blunder bisa gue bilang. Biar yang lain. Oh no, spray down. What? Hafiz. Nge-whiff di waktu yang tidak tepat. Apa yang terjadi, Le? 4 lawan 2. Real blunder. Bisa gue bilang, tembakan yang seharusnya mudah didapatkan. Ternyata malah tidak bisa dimanfaatkan. Posisi kali ini menjadi keuntungan untuk tim Savage Man Esports. 2 lawan 1. Tentu Dips akan diuji dengan 1v2. Dan zona akan mengikis satu pemain terakhir ini. Karena dia ada di pinggiran zona. Wah, kok jadi ente? No.
Itu kesalahan mungkin.
Ya.
Kesalahan dari rotasi vehicle tadi. Harusnya memang bisa lebih bersabar lagi. Karena zona juga harusnya bisa mengikis. Dan ya, winner chicken untuk tim Savage Man. Itu...
Aduh, nggak apa-apa.
Ya. Reset.
Next, it's okay karena masuk ke top 2 udah bagus banget, killnya udah lumayan dan setelah ini akan ada break ya sekitar 5 sampai dengan 10 menit dan kita akan melihat match terakhir di hari kedua di Irengel. So pastikan kalian jangan kemana-mana, tetap di PUBG Master Series 2026.
seen a lot together. And we're just getting started. No limits on land. No limits on loot. No limits on survival. Your destination for next level PUBG game modes. PUBG Unbound. You're gonna need a bigger helmet.
selamat datang kembali tentunya masih di PUBG Master Series 2026 dan tentu masih bersama kita berdua, Reda Bredel dan juga
Harley.
Yes, dan kita akan masuk ke match terakhir di hari kedua ini, match ke-5 ataupun match ke-10 lebih tepatnya teman-teman semua. Dimana tadi tim Indonesia nyaris saja untuk mendapatkan WWCD, cuman nggak usah dibahas lagi lah.
Nyaris.
Intinya blunder lah bisa gue bilang. Nggak bisa diselamatin lagi tadi, itu bener-bener blunder. Cuman ya mau diapakan lagi, nasi udah jadi bubar ya teman-teman ya.
Bubar.
Ada yang nanya ini live apa tayangan ulang? Live. Dan ini dia untuk tim Tela yang nyaris saja mendapatkan winner chicken dinner. Dan buat teman-teman semua jangan lupa ingetin kita setelah ada first kill, kita akan memberikan kode untuk kalian semua.
Yes, setelah first kill bakal ada G-Coin. Kode
ya? Kode.
Kode yang bakal keluar, jadi ingetin kita teman-teman ya. Kalau nggak keluar, bang, kodenya nggak keluar. Ya, gitulah pokoknya ya. Jadi ingetin kita, tapi kalau kodenya udah keluar jangan minta juga. Kan udah keluar kodenya.
Sabar ya. Nanti juga keluar kok setelah ada first blood. Double kill.
Waduh. Oke, dan ini ada POV dari tim Game Start Win.
Betul.
Itu kehalangan banget mukanya bang.
Iya, emang dia
Introper ya.
Dari gordennya, AC-nya kayak AC-nya mahal, tapi RDK tengah-tengah gak pakai baju sih. Masih gak pakai.
Masih aja dia ya.
Next, ini match keberapa ini? Match ke-5 atau match ke-10 ya, kalau ditotalin. Dan kita akan masuk nih teman-teman semua untuk match terakhir di hari kedua sebelum kita memasuki hari ketiga besok ya, di hari Minggu akan menemani kalian semua. Dan let's go Irengel match 10 hari yang kedua, let's go
Irengel menjadi penutup di hari ini teman-teman. Seperti biasa di match ke-10 atau match ke-5 di hari ini. Dan kita masih melihat sepak terjang bagi tim-tim Indo. Tapi gue perhatiin dari match pertama hingga match ke-5 hari ini, tim Indo selalu ada masuk ke top 4. Selalu, tapi gak semua memang. Tapi at least mereka bisa stabil, bisa sustain juga. Dan tadi hampir nyaris mendapatkan WWCD, yaitu ya sudahlah, mau seperti apa lagi, nasi sudah menjadi bubar. Gitu ya, tapi back to the game again. Dan jalur pesawatnya atau jalur flight path-nya dari arah Severny menuju ke Nova.
Yap, ada yang nanya
Novo.
Besok jam berapa? Jam 5 sama. Kita live itu jam 4 ya, 4.30 waktu Indonesia Barat ya teman-teman ya.
Yes.
Kill, Imbot, Irengel Kills, emang Irengel rumah lu, ini
Irengel rumah lu sih.
Iya, 14 elit. Tadi lu kemana?
Oh, gua ke Severny.
Lu Severny. Berarti Severny.
Di atas.
Oh, atas Severny. Gua Grogol.
Dekat-dekat lah.
Iya, cuman feeling gua Milta, ya udahlah Grogol. Kita lihat saja apakah akan ada opening kill yang cepat dilakukan oleh tim Indonesia lah. Minimal tim Indonesia nge-kill dulu. Dan dari tim newbies berdekatan dengan Shadow Esports di sebelah dulu. Nama kota ini nama kota yang tidak bernama itu Jakarta.
Iya. Sekarang sudah bernama ya.
Sekarang sudah bernama. Ini dia untuk Irengel, Vega. Persentase WWCD-nya 33%.
Nah.
Zona Grogol.
Iya, betul sekali. Dan
2 juta rupiah.
Tapi sebenarnya juga ke cover dikit.
Kena dikit. Ada alter ego ya di sana ya?
Ada enggak Ato.
Oh, Ato, sorry.
Ato e-sport. Yes, karena di sini dari beberapa tim juga sudah mulai menuju compound mereka masing-masing dan masih mencari resource. Tapi tim newbie Snip Paul kali ini sudah mulai dipress oleh tim Shadow Esports di early game. Jujur, ini dari seorang Kamal sangat sulit sekali memang. Opening langsung dikonfirm oleh tim Shadow Esports. Sesuna mendapatkan 1 poin kill langsung saja, walaupun memang terkenok masih bisa di revive sih.
Ya, ini dia kodenya XD 6HK 8CWM 25. Monggo di redeem.
Monggo di redeem teman-teman. Ini cepet-cepetan gak sih? Atau buat semua?
coba di redeem aja.
Coba jadi redeem aja ya.
Coba di redeem aja ya.
Coba let's go, langsung aja gikoin. Udah, sudah. Kebetulan memang momentumnya tim Indo yang membuka first blood-nya langsung.
Bagus. Tapi ini dia untuk WWCD tim dari Savage Man Esports dengan total 8 tambah 5, 13 kill. 5 dari Abchen, 8 dari Lunlun, sisanya 0. Kok seimbang?
Seimbang sekali. Karena memang di late game mereka benar-benar show off-nya benar-benar di akhir. Karena meratakan juga dari tim Mong di bawah.
Tuh ada yang dapat.
Sama di tim Zen.
Berarti lebih dari 1 teman-teman.
Oh bisa berarti banyak guys.
Mungkin 10, 20, 50 mungkin ya. Lumayan.
Ini Lunlun nih yang menjadi man of the match-nya teman-teman.
Iya, tadi dibuka oleh Setsuna. Thanks untuk Setsuna teman-teman ya, yang membuka opening kill di awal dan dapetin ataupun lebih tepatnya dan kodenya keluar lebih cepat juga.
Yes. Lumayan 100 G-coin per harinya kalau totalnya itu ada 4 minggu kali 3
Kok nggak yang 300 rate nawar lu? Itu udah dikasih sama gua. Ini masih banyak, pokoknya dapat nanti.
Totalnya itu banyak, Le.
Iya.
1 minggu itu dapat 3. Berarti 3 kali 4, 12 loh.
Banyak
1.200.
Iya itu kan kita nggak tahu. Ini gua aja nggak tahu isinya yang berapa.
Iya,
yang 100, ada yang 300. Kali aja nanti besok ada yang 500. Siapa yang tahu?
Makanya nonton.
Standby. Banyak pokoknya kode-kode yang akan kita siapkan untuk kalian semua. Dan sekarang game Start Queen, tim yang menumbangkan tim Alter Ego di match sebelumnya. Dan kali ini bermain cukup sabar. RDK spray cukup agresif. Tentu dari RDK. Tapi belum ada sesuatu yang komit yang dilakukan oleh RDK. Dan sekarang Vega 99 poin, berbeda 5 poin dengan Orclus. Butuh 1 poin untuk memastikan dapetin 100 poin. Dan sebelum itu, Eya, Sam, spray dari Eya. Dapatkan beberapa damage tadi, 56 damage, tapi masih belum bisa mendapatkan knockdown. Masih ingin lebih, tembakan terus dilakukan Alter Ego. Bersebelahan juga dengan Jansen. Akosire, dapetin Queen. Mungkin Queen akan bisa dieliminasi. Backupnya cukup jauh. Dan Queen, no. Spray down dilakukan kembali, dibalas. Dan ternyata ada Sly Fox Trick juga bisa untuk melakukan trade-nya. Tapi terlalu jauh para pemain dari tim Alter Ego. Dan sekarang spray kembali dilakukan oleh Cimoy. Cimoy dari arah mobil. Cimoy, Alter Ego. Apa yang terjadi Alter Ego? Queen memang hilang. Alter Ego 2 pemain saja. Ada Cimoy dan juga Tricek. Dan sepertinya Tricek masih coba untuk melakukan tapping untuk membantu rekan-rekannya. Itu end dulu kali RZ dan sepertinya akan ada misi bantuan yang sudah dilakukan. Dihadang tadi. Satu pemain yang sedang ter-knockdown. Kelihatan tangannya. Tricek dapetin 1 knockdown. Ini menjadi keuntungan. Diserang. Ini dia MP5K senjata geli-geli yang dimiliki oleh seorang Tricek. Ada 1 buah smoke yang akan menutupi pandangan. Tricek bakalan melakukan push. Dimanakah rekannya? Tapi sepertinya kenapa nggak nge-push? Baru udah pecah 2. Cimoy-nya nge-push, satunya mundur. Ada apa ini gerangan? Cimoy, nah, please balik, udah bergabung aja, udah 2 man squad aja. 2 man squad biasanya juga kalian menang kok 2 man squad. Kemarin lu jago 2 man squad, sekarang RDK tidak akan diselamatkan karena memang sulit, posisinya jauh.
Jauh banget sih. Jauh banget memang dari posisi dari Trix dan juga Cimoy di sini. RDK juga tadi langsung saja terkenok. Memang positionnya agak sulit sekali bagi Alter Ego untuk mendapatkan orang dari player dari tim Zen kali ini. Cukup kesal seperti Trik di sana untuk coba tapping terhadap pintu di depan dia. Tapi di sisi Lentera sudah terspot oleh tim Energy kali ini, Nirvana River Soldier kali ini. Tapi belum mendapatkan damage terhadap tim Tera. Bahkan tim Tera yang ngepres dari tim Nirvana atau NRAG kali ini. Masih mencari informasi Zarki. Ini tempat yang cukup ujung dari map Irangel. Menjadi tempat bagi tim NRG kali ini. Dan Tera juga sudah mulai dekat dengan tim NRG kali ini ya masih early game masih aman banget lah walaupun memang Alter Ego saya masih sudah terculik 2 oleh tim Zen. Kali ini bahkan Alter Ego yang sudah mulai terhempit. Tim Zensin kali ini sudah mulai setup terhadap tim Alter Ego. Smoke, stun grenade juga sudah mulai di-pop up ke arah depan. Dispress dari arah kiri kanan. Cimoy sudah melihat ada pergerakan di depan mereka. Langsung saja dilemparkan molotov ke arah depan. Dead-nya juga splash damage didapatkan saja oleh seorang Cimoy kali ini. Langsung coba first aid. Terlebih dahulu Drake juga cari informasi ke depan dan Trix mendapatkan satu sana dengan menggunakan MP5. Langsung saja 2 bahkan didapatkan. 2. Shotgunnya connect ke depan tapi Alter Ego sayang sekali. Di match terakhir kali ini harus puas di posisi ke-16 walaupun memang tersisa seorang Slivox yang ya itu harusnya bisa sih.
Iya, tadi sempat ngintip dulu sebelum melakukan spray ternyata di run and gun no way. Nice try untuk Alter Ego di match ke-5 ataupun match ke-10. Untuk hari kedua, istirahat lebih cepat dan masih ada hari ke-3 teman-teman semua. Akan ada 5 match lagi yang bisa dimainkan oleh tim Alter Ego di week pertama ini. It's okay. Reset. Masih banyak kesempatan teman-teman semua masih ada di lembar pertama yaitu di top 8. Tipis itu close game. Gue bilang close fight.
Untuk Alter Ego namun lain dari Armor Esport coba dispray ke arah depan Cherry. Spray ke arah Ken tanah tapi belum mendapatkan knock. Seharusnya memang Armor membegal dari area yang cukup riskan di sini terhadap tim Zen. Tapi tim Zen pintar banget. Kalau menurut gua ini tim Zen cukup pintar. Mereka langsung splitting dengan menggunakan vehicle untuk membingungkan dari tim Armor Esport untuk mencari another angle ya. Itu ya kesempatan cukup baik juga bagi tim Zen. Dari tim Armor juga di sini mereka mendapatkan satu area yang cukup enak menurut gua. Kalau hingga ke late game sih agak sulit ya karena Unlucky kali ini di daerahnya dari Unlucky sih jalur rotasi tim-tim lain bakal ketemu banget. Masih ada tim Zen dan juga tim Orclus di sana yang masih di luar white circle dan zonanya ke arah kiri, arah dari Irangel ini sangat panas sih kalau menurut gua. Kalau emang ke arah pojok banget ini memaksa tim-tim untuk berotasi cepat ke arah sana. Tapi Zansin di sini menyadari bahwasannya ada tim Orclus yang sudah mulai rotasi. Tapi mereka belum punya vehicle nih, bahaya soalnya.
Ya, atau e-sport sekarang rotasi. Base yang kedua, zonanya makin ke kiri atas. Ini makin rusak ini jalur rotasi orang-orang.
Iya.
Bukan cuma 1, 2, 3 tim aja. Ini banyak banget tim yang bakalan rusak banget dengan zona seperti ini. Ditutup dengan zona yang gila bisa gue bilang. 11 menit sudah berlalu. Atau e-sports, Gaps dan kawan-kawan Orca Terra sudah melihat satu pemain tadi. Akan mencoba untuk menunggu dulu Kunyits. Menunggu waktu yang pas karena di jarak ini agak sulit untuk mendapatkan instant kill. Dan sekarang ada beberapa tembakan dari Vega. Shadow Esports juga memang berdekatan dengan Vega. Dan tentu ini menjadi satu mara bahaya untuk kedua tim. Karena mengingat ada 2 pemain Indonesia dari Vega, yaitu Teddy dan juga Imbot. 3 pemain Malaysia, 2 tim Indonesia. Sedangkan dari tim Shadow Esports semuanya pemain-pemain Indonesia yang tadi sempat bertemu sebentar. Tapi mereka melangsungkan rotasinya kembali menuju ke tempat yang memang ini jarang banget zona ke arah ini bisa gue bilang. Sebelum itu ada Kunyit dapetin Texuan, tapi Ato Lolba juga harus knockdown Shadow Esports. Beberapa pemain Indonesia saling berjibaku, bertukar kill nampaknya. Energi berdekatan juga satu. Knockdown Atia, ataupun Kia lebih tepatnya. Kamal juga tumbang, Kia juga sama. 2 pemain Indonesia dengan tim yang berbeda. Namun Tera juga apa yang terjadi dengan tim-tim Indonesia. Beberapa pemain yang tumbang dan bahkan Ato Esports pun tereliminasi di SEC 15. Nyusul Alter Ego. Kembali ke lobby dan istirahat lebih cepat.
Wah, Ato tadi dia yang dapat hashtag 2 gak sih? Iya, Ato Esports yang tadi,
Itu Tera.
Beda lagi karena Ato, ya tadi memang dari segi splittingnya agak sulit. Memang dari ada beberapa tim yang sudah menunggu dari Ato Ada tim SE juga dari Shadow Esport juga menunggu tadi. Dan dari Zen juga ya ini late gamenya agak late banget sih. Jujur karena emang zonanya ke arah ujung banget Irengel. Jadi jalur rotasi mereka berantakan, Re.
Iya, semuanya bisa gue bilang ini jalur rotasinya berantakan karena memang siapa yang nyangka bakalan ke kiri atas ini zona yang jarang tadi sempat kita mention juga, tapi Bombay dapetin Oraculos. Dengan satu buah M4 tadi, ada beberapa tembakan dari arah lain, Daski dari Armor, Bombay Orcatera masih mencoba untuk survive. Dips, ada tembakan AKM. M249 sudah siap digeber. Dips, spray kembali dilakukan Dips dan akan tumbang. Oh no, ada bala bantuan dari siang lain juga Dips. Tereliminasi dan Zen Esport juga karena ada backup dari Tera. Yang membuat Zen Esport juga harus puas di hashtag 14.
Yes, itu dia memang Zen sulit banget untuk survive di sana karena di-press juga oleh tim Tera.
Zarki.
Tapi Zarki sih ini late game-nya agak sulit banget, tapi Cide di sana men-spot di sana dari seorang Mong. Cide sana belum dapat knock di sana, tapi Vega ini sih mereka dapat posisi yang cukup enak karena punggungan bukit ini menjadi tempat yang cukup enak dan mereka splitting ternyata. Ada yang di area atas dan ada area bawah. Ini splitting cukup pintar menurut gua. Imbot dan juga DJ juga di sana dan Nan. Selain dengan seorang Alex di sana langsung saja mengkonfirm antara tim Happy dan juga tim Orglass kali ini sudah mendapatkan confirm 1 poin saja. Dan dari Unlucky kali ini Heaven melihat pergerakan dari tim Orglass lagi-lagi mencari incaran bagi tim-tim papan bawah. Unlucky kali ini masih dengan komponen yang cukup bisa dikontrol kali ini, tapi ini dispray saja dari arah manapun, tapi Uncle didapatkan saja oleh seorang MT kali ini. Terkenok saja, tersungkur di area bawah. Nikos masih melihat pergerakan dari tim Vega dari arah sana. Dan langsung di set up sepertinya oleh tim Vega kali ini. Badape melihat pergerakan dari tim Imbot harus hati-hati. Sudah satu dimis diterima oleh seorang Imbot. Kenapa lagi-lagi di sana? Kena
emergency cover flare.
Emergency cover flare oleh seorang mendapatkan seorang mendot. Ini dia mortarnya. Dari tim Armor belum mendapatkan knock di sana. Terlalu cepat. 3 bahkan 2 mortar menuju ke arah X-Men belum mendapatkan knock. Harusnya memang dapat ternyata Vivi. 1 di sana. 1 peluru terakhir dari mortar. Seorang PV mendapatkan seorang Zemes.
Yes, Zams.
CJ
juga harus ter-knockdown oleh Nate dari seorang Tentrip. Mad Dog berbalas nampaknya terhadap Tentrip. Saling bertukar kill. Orglass hanya sendirian saja sekarang 31 HP. Ada Nate terus dilontarkan dan ternyata 3 point lemparan dari seorang Monty dan membuat Mad Dog dan kawan-kawan harus puas di hashtag 13.
Wah, ini selalu menjadi momentum di mana Orglass itu langsung kedapatkan di posisi yang tidak dienakkan karena posisi mereka sulit untuk survive dan tim Vega kali ini mereka bisa open untuk 3 digit di match kali ini, di match terakhir di hari kedua. Karena ini masih poin berjalan teman-teman dan zonanya.
Dips hidup lagi.
Dips hidup lagi. Iya kah? Oh yes. Itu dia. Masih bisa ada kesempatan bagi tim-tim yang tadi sempat terkenok atau terculik di awal. Masih bisa untuk mendapatkan momentum di sana dan suspek di sini. Masih mencari informasi dari tim Armor Esport. Masih melihat, cari informasi. Daski. Dan ini emang area Zarki, gue jujur jarang banget lihat area Zarki ke late game. Ternyata gundukannya banyak ya, Re. Banyak banget gundukan.
Yap. Karena ini jarang disentuh juga ya. Jarang kita untuk melihat zona ke arah sini. Zarki. Hanya beberapa pemain putus asa untuk ngambil looting ke sana. Karena jalur rotasinya juga kalau memang sampai ke arah kanan bawah juga itu sih bisa gue bilang mudiknya jauh. Sekarang ada kesempatan Mong Asu. Monty lakukan spray. Mana Angel masih selamat nampaknya para pemain dari tim Mong. Namun ada beberapa gangguan. Daski juga mendapatkan Asu. Baru saja mendarat mungkin tadi. Langsung berhasil di knockdown. Nikos juga sama. Knockdown para pemain dari tim Mong. Hanya ada 2 pemain saja. Ingat si Ofeng tadi harus menumbangkan Nikos. Masih ada beberapa smoke yang memang menutup pandangan dari Armor Esports. Dan ada beberapa setup granat. Monty juga sama. Harus terkena tag oleh Sunny Side Up. Balasan granat terus dilakukan. Sunny Side Up. Skill terhadap Monty. Masih terganggu dengan banyaknya obstacle dadakan. Faven juga menangkap Monty. Tidak selamat. Nan juga saling bertukar utility. Saling bertukar nade kali ini. Semua nade yang mereka punya mereka lontarkan. Sunny Side Up sudah low HP. Harus melakukan heal terlebih dahulu. Tapi Algin Box dan juga Nats lebih tepatnya harus knockdown. Karena Runax sudah memberikan tembakan peringatan. Loncat-loncat untuk mencari informasi di dalam smoke. Runax unlucky datang untuk sebagai pengganggu juga. Dari sisi Algin Bots mendapatkan set up yang bahkan terus dilakukan. Traktir pun harus tumbang. Hanya ada 1 pemain saja Algin Bots yang harus bertahan. Yang mungkin bisa saja untuk mendapatkan beberapa elim lagi. Dan itu dia peluru terakhir connect. Algin Bots akan dibakar Gon yang baru saja datang. Dan ternyata terbakar. Algin Bots akan mempunyai kesempatan juga untuk mengambil push ini. Masih coba untuk melakukan jiggle-jiggle. Tapi ternyata gerakan dari Goni membuat Algin Bots juga harus tumbang.
Harus tumbang dari tim Happy kali ini, dan tim Mong juga menyusul di posisi ke-11. Tim Newbie kali ini akan bertemu dengan tim Zero Esport. Di sisi lain Hanzib di sana masih mendapatkan momentum. Nade-nya langsung coba dimasang Anarsi. Belum mendapatkan nade kami terhadap tim Shadow Esport. Kali ini lagi-lagi untuk Shadow Esport harus posisi 10 sepertinya. Karena diganggu oleh tim Zenshin di sana di sisi lain. Unforgiven. Lagi-lagi mendapatkan resource ke arah depan NRG kali ini. Yang masih cukup lengkap. Di late game kali ini. Di area atas. Dari White Circle. Zenshin kali ini dekat dengan tim NRG. Armor Esport, X-Men, Terra, NRG. Dan tim Newbie masih tersisa. Dan ada tim Vega juga masih aman banget. Dan udah unlock triple digit oleh seorang Vega. 100 point. Sudah mereka kumpulkan kali ini tim Vega. Belum kelihatan sedari tadi di area manakah mereka dapat. Oh, tapi di sisi lain Faven dengan menggunakan Panzer pause-nya mendapatkan dari seorang Translucent dari tim Unlucky. Lagi-lagi mengunci poin-poin kembali kali ini. Mencari kesempatan suspek ke arah depan. Belum mendapatkan knock. Armor Esport ini mereka masih santai banget di sini area sini karena itu masih di luar wajah. Tapi tim Newbie kali ini kedatangan tamu dari tim Unlucky kali ini. Baik di mereka depan, tapi Newbie juga yang harus tumbang oleh tim Unlucky kali ini. Tapi Nirvana Rebirth atau NRG ada kesempatan. Aikos Ray bisa ditumbangkan saja di area sana, tapi Fate membackup dari arah jauh sekali. God XP terkenok di sana. Sing terlihat di spray ke depan Crazy Dog. Mendapatkan satu saja. Satu orang dari tim Zenshin kali ini. RZ harus berhati-hati. Crazy Dog mencari informasi. Nade-nya juga ke arah depan. Menumbangkan terlebih dahulu ke arah Sin. Dibakar saja dengan menggunakan Molotov. Lihat, itu dia. 1 poin sudah dikonfirm oleh tim NRG kali ini. Zenshin terjebak di area yang sudah dikepung oleh tim NRG.
Ya, dengan posisi seperti ini, tentunya dari tim Zenshin, dengan 1 pemain saja akan dicari. Beberapa utility sudah mulai dikeluarkan. RZ 23 damage. Dari arah belakang juga ada beberapa peluru tadi yang mencoba untuk mengenai seorang RZ. Dan yap, Yunyit jadi pemain terakhir menumbangkan RZ. Hashtag 8 harus puas di tangan Sensins. Savage Man Esports yang sebelumnya mendapatkan WWCD. Kali ini mereka berusaha keras untuk mendapatkan kill dan juga WWCD kembali. Masih dengan 7 tim. Xavier, stun granat, dan juga Nate sudah dikeluarkan sepenuhnya. Armor harus bertahan. Spray down. Ngambil 1-2 vehicle, tapi ada suspect yang mendapatkan lulun. Belum ada balasan yang dilakukan oleh para pemain dari tim Savage Man Esports. Dan ternyata Xavier juga tertank. Bahkan Xavier juga harus knockdown 2 pemain dari tim Savage Man Esports sekarang dalam masalah untuk menahan. Karena memang mereka ada di dalam zona juga. Lone juga harus tumbang. Dips dari arah yang lain juga mencoba untuk mengambil kill steal. Zams yang harus knockdown juga. Beberapa tembakan connect. Upchat mendapatkan PV. Dibalas dampaknya oleh para pemain dari tim Savage Man Esports. Dan juga Zams harus tumbang. Hafiz mendapatkan kill tersebut tambahan untuk para pemain dari tim Indonesia. Dan ternyata Savage Man Esports pun yang menjadi tim ke-7 yang harus dipulangkan ke lobby. Namun masih belum selesai. Ada game start win. Kedatangan dari tim NRG di rumah yang sudah mereka isi. Dan kali ini setup tersebut nampaknya diganggu juga oleh Tera. Dan lu bisa lihat kill demi kill didapatkan juga oleh para pemain dari tim Tera. 7 eliminasi sudah didapatkan oleh tim Tera.
Wah, ini gila banget, intens banget. Dari tim Tera juga seorang kunyit mendapatkan dari seorang suspek di sisi lain. Game start win kali ini sudah mulai terpojok oleh tim NRG yang sudah datang di area dekat dengan mereka. Tapi tim Vega kali ini sudah langsung rotasi ke depan. Oh, Xiaofeng mendapatkan seorang imbot di sini satu persatu ditumbangkan saja dari tim Vega. Sudah mulai banyak sekali peperangan, tapi ini NRG kali ini yang tumbang oleh tim Game Start Win yang masih bisa mereka survive, dan tim Orca Tera yang sudah unlock killing spree, dan 3 tim tersisa bahkan cepat sekali. Tera, Game Start Win dan juga tim Vega tersisa 1 orang yaitu MT kali ini, tapi mereka ke depan gateway. Jing didapatkan saja, 2 bahkan didapatkan kah oleh seorang MT kali ini. Oh my god, masih bisa survive. MT kali ini dengan menggunakan barrelnya masih di dalam satu smoke yang menutup vision terhadap seorang MT, terhadap GSW ini. Oh, tidak sadar bosannya, tapi Vega yang ditumbangkan saja. 2 tim tersisa, tim Tera dan juga tim Game Start Win. Ayo teman-teman semuanya, tim Tera masih bisa survive. Hashtag Indo Pride. Yang kedua kalinya tim Tera kali ini masuk ke late game. Hafiz, spray tap-tap ke arah depan, belum mendapatkan knock. Ini menjadi kesempatan bagi tim Tera untuk bisa mendapatkan winner-winner chicken dinner.
Yes, Orca Tera kembali ada di top 2. Jangan sampai nasibnya sama seperti match sebelumnya. Tapi memang keuntungan dimiliki oleh Game Start Win. Dengan 4 pemain melawan 3 pemain, walaupun knock mungkin bisa saja dihidupkan. Killing spree sudah didapatkan oleh tim Orca Tera. 10 kill, sedangkan Game Start Win 8 poin kill sudah mereka dapatkan. Dan sekarang pemain dari tim Orca Tera harus cukup sabar. Masalahnya ini tadi 2 menit 24, sisa 2 tim ini masih lama bro.
Iya itu dia masalahnya, masih gede ini.
Phase ke-6 itu biasanya kita ngelihat ada 5 sampai dengan 6 tim gitu. Ini banget, menit 25 udah sisa 2 tim. Berarti mau gak mau mainnya bakalan nahan-nahan, tapi kunyit gak ada nahan-nahannya baik. Langsung di fight tadi oleh Soul, tapi kunyit masih bisa bertahan sebelum dia knockdown. Ada 1 buah shield yang akan mengamankan dirinya. Misi penyelamatan mungkin bisa dilakukan oleh para pemain dari tim Orca Tera, atau mungkin kunyit akan direlakan begitu saja.
Wah ya, memang sulit sekali untuk menyelamatkan seorang kunyit kali ini, tapi dari tim Game Start Win sudah regroup. Jing, Xiaofeng, Saino dan juga teman-teman dan Show juga sudah mulai regroup. Kali ini 2 versus 4. Chance-nya makin besar sekali Game Start Win bisa mendapatkan winner-winner chicken dinner kali ini, tapi zona juga sudah mulai menghempit perlahan demi perlahan. Ini hanya tinggal menunggu waktu. Siapakah yang bisa mendapatkan momentum itu? Bisa mendapatkan WCD kali ini. Dan memang splitting dari tim Tera kali ini sudah mulai terlihat. Splitting dari tim Orca Tera kali ini. Oh, Panzer juga sudah mulai disiapkan oleh seorang Soul kali ini. Tutup back angle-nya menggunakan smoke di sana. Oh, Xiaofeng didapatkan saja oleh seorang G.Skill yang langsung confirm. Ini menjadi kesempatan 2 versus 3 kali ini tim Tera. Perlahan smoke juga sudah mulai didapatkan. Hafiz mendapatkan momentum di sana. Terspot tim dari tim Game Start Win kali ini. Perlahan dari tim Tera untuk mencari informasi, menggali informasi, karena ini gundukan menjadi kesempatan bagi tim Tera. Coveran yang cukup enak di late game kali ini. Cari utils atau apapun itu mungkin menjadi kesempatan bagi tim Game Start Win dan juga tim Tera yang bisa mendapatkan winner-winner chicken dinner kali ini.
Iya, 2 lawan 3 tentunya. Setelah tadi 1 eliminasi didapatkan, masih ada kesempatan untuk Tera. Orca Terra melawan Game Start Win. Dengan utility yang minim. Masih ada Molotov dan juga satu stun granat. Tapi dari Game Start Win tadi gua ngeliat stun granatnya masih lumayan. Masih lumayan banyak. Di late game lumayan penting. Smoke dan juga stun granat. Karena granat udah pasti hampir semuanya habis. Di setiap fight pasti mereka mengeluarkan granat demi granat. Dan ini udah kelihatan susah banget bro. Terpantau bagaimana Hafiz dan juga Dips saling nahan sampai zona terakhir mungkin. Masih menit 28. Masih ada 2 sampai dengan 4 menit. Mungkin game ini akan selesai.
Yes, karena memang kalau kita bisa kilas balik di match sebelumnya, itu hanya tinggal menunggu waktu saja. 2 orang versus 4 itu bisa. Siapa tahu sekarang lagi-lagi dari Game Start Win dan juga tim Terra lagi-lagi bertemu. Harusnya bisa 2 versus 4 mereka bisa libas. Tinggal menunggu waktu saja di sini dari tim Sino. Juga sudah mulai rotasi. Oh ini cepat sekali dari tim Game Start Win kali ini untuk men-suppress dari arah belakang dari tim Game Start Win kali ini. Hafiz sudah mulai terpojok. Netnya juga sudah mulai di stop dan net juga sudah mulai pop up 2 bahkan 2 orang di area. Oh tapi Jing mendapatkan dari seorang Hafiz di sana dan 1 tersisa dari tim Orca Terra kali ini. 3 versus 1 kali ini.
Susah ini.
Sulit sekali Dips. Dari kesempatan. Oh terspot saja.
Granat.
Masih mencari. Dan di sana di-spray ke hadapan masih belum mendapatkan knock. Dips. Perlahan.
Wah buta.
Sulit sekali memang. Dips. Di-press dari arah kiri kanan. Dan sulit memang Game Start Win lah. Yang mendapatkan winner chicken dinner di match ke-10 kali ini.
Yes, karena memang udah kena stun granat jadi buta total, but it's okay. Itu dia untuk match terakhir kita di hari kedua teman-teman semua. Dan itu menjadi akhir perjumpaan kita di hari kedua ini. Besok masih ada hari ketiga untuk week yang pertama. Teman-teman semua thank you udah nonton. Thank you sekali lagi. Kita mohon maaf untuk hari ini kalau misalnya ada salah kata dan juga perbuatan. Karena kita hanya manusia biasa yang tidak luput dari kesalahan. Thank you untuk hari kedua. Sekali lagi gue bener-bener terima kasih buat kalian semua yang udah ngedukung tim Indonesia. Intinya besok kita bakalan lanjut lagi di jam 5 dan tentunya kita bakalan rehat dulu hari ini. Selamat malam dan selamat istirahat. Bye-bye.